All right, all right. And we are finally live. Family, thank you for your patience. Oh man. Wow. We are really ushering and entering a new paradigm, family. I'm just watching everything going on around, family. And I'm about to welcome my guests in, but it's somebody computer. Whose computer is that? Somebody's computer playing? Okay. Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. Oh, that's on your end, Seven. It's a echo on your end, Seven. Check. Do y'all hear the echo as well when I'm talking? Yeah, I'm still hearing it. It's like repeating everything I'm saying. Don't wanna. I just muted Seven, so I'm gonna this gonna be. You hear the echo? Okay. Yeah, I'm just doing a test. Yeah, delayed echo. It's a delayed echo. No. That's not Seven. Seven. Hold on. No, you know what? I apologize. That is me. I apologize. That is me, family. So yeah, Seven. That's Seven. Seven. Say something now. Red is muted, and that's how you know this is going to be an important show. Seven. Say something now. You're on mute now, Seven. You're on mute now.
All right, testing. 1, 2, 3.
Now. You're good now. Now, Red. Let me hear you say something, Red.
Microphone check on 2, 1, 2.
Okay. All right. Had to get that right. It's fixed. Sometimes things like that happen, but that was on my end. Yeah. I had another tab open, so I apologize to the family with that. But I guess the night is so important. The night is that important.
That's right.
I was just talking about us ushering a new paradigm. I'm just extremely happy and proud, and I'm excited. It could be a little scary, yes, but we are in some times that we have never seen before, and I feel as though we all signed up for these times. And I welcome. I don't know if I want to call it a challenge, but I welcome the opportunity to show my godhood in the realm at this time. And with that being said, I want to welcome to my platform for a very, very, very special show. Sevan Bomar, Red Pillar. Welcome, family.
Peace.
It's a long time coming. We waited for the day, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this might be a decade. This might be a decade in the making.
Like, we could all be, they can't. Y'all brothers. Yep. Same mother.
yo, I might have to get some shades tonight, y'all, because Red got her the shades, Seven got her the shades.
It's a disclaimer to everyone. It's late at night. Lights just so I'm coming in clear, but to miss out on the melatonin. You see me, I'm here. I'm wild cheater. I'm alive. I'm lit. But enduring. I think there's gonna be at least an hour and a half of power. Oh, I would do that. Behind.
No facts.
Behind the blue light, if you may.
Indeed. Real quick. Before we get started, a real good show. I'm gonna let everybody come in the room while we get started. There's a blood moon tomorrow, y'all? What is there a blood moon tomorrow? Seven, what's that about? Because I know you do heavy occult studies. What is this blood moon thing about, Seven? Real quick. I just want to get that out the way. So the family
names of the moons they give, like the buck moon and all of this, is based on different rituals and things that go on when that moon is happening. Also things that happen with plants and flowers. The blood moon itself was actually a time to actually enrich soil. Often blood was used to enrich soil. It's a very strong fertility component. So yeah, those specific names that we're using of the moon now, they actually come from rituals and things that had to do with agriculture and harvesting and things that you would see in nature.
Excellent. Yep. Okay.
All
right.
Farmers Almanac.
Indeed. Well, we got an amazing show. We got a huge announcement, an amazing opportunity for everybody. I see what's going on in the world, politics, school system, the workforce. Everything is centered around AI. The countries, there's an AI race going on with the countries. The school systems, the workforce is letting go massive amounts of people. And things are getting scary for a lot of people out here because the world is changing faster than a lot of people could keep up. And a lot of people don't know which way to turn. I've just seen a report saying that Gen Z, they're not even moving outside their parents' home. Because these homes ain't even selling. Gen Z's like, I ain't leaving home with mommy and daddy. I'm staying right here, saving. They're not even drinking. Tourism is down. They're not even going to Vegas to gambling. People ain't playing. So the industries is like, yo, what's going on? People like, yo, y'all done made it so expensive for us to live that, yo, we're gonna change this up. And wow, what we're gonna talk about tonight has everything to do with what we're seeing because it is the present and the future. And that conversation is one of the unavoidable one of artificial intelligence. So I want to thank Sevan and Red having this talk. Artificial intelligence, very important. I guess let's start out with, and we got an announcement. We got something coming up for y'all, but I'm gonna let the family come in the room and then I'll let y'all know. To start out with, I did something I discuss on my show a lot where in terms of manifestation, when you prompt, since we're talking about AI, when you prompt the universe for something you want, like let's say you want to be rich, one of the first things the universe does is put somebody rich in front of you. And when the universe puts somebody rich in front of you, you are meant to study that. And you can learn at rapid speed because of mirror neurons and other factors from that person is right in front of you. What we tend to do sometimes, because we believe in separation and we don't know that we're universal consciousness, we think we're these separated entities, we become jealous of that individual. So we push that individual away because we like, shit, he or she got what I want, but he or she was meant to be that living example so that you may learn how to get what you want. But like I said, lack of knowledge, we push it away. In terms of AI, what I want to ask based on that is we're in an age of know thyself. We're in an age of more than we've ever seen before. Man wants, and when I say man, I mean man and woman, man wants to know their self. We want to know where we come from, our origin, who we really are. And there's tons of spiritual information on the internet. That's why the New Age movement is so big right now. What I'm asking is, just like when we want to be rich and that rich man comes in front of us, because we want to know ourselves so bad right now, we're in that age of Aquarius, AI has come in front of us, artificial intelligence. And what's amazing is that the same things that we use to prompt AI is the same things we use to prompt the universe. So it's like that fractal thing going on. And what I want to ask is, I'm afraid that, are we doing the same thing? The way we push away that rich person, are we pushing AI away? Because AI can show, there's so many things I've studied from Sevan and Red, and I'm like, oh shit, that's how you manifest? Oh, that's how, wait a minute. And I'm just like amazed, and I'm like, oh shit, it's showing me my technology because we're the original AI. Our avatar is the original AI. So I'm just like fascinated learning this stuff. And I'm afraid, are we doing to AI what some of us do to that quote unquote rich person when they come around us?
You know, there's a lot of levels to this. So the beauty of, being here tonight, with Red and of course with Radiohead is that we're going to be able to get it 360 degrees because, if there's anything that we can say about the world is that there's levels to this. And, I have, of course, my own perspective of the whole thing. I believe we should share very similar perspectives. And, and that's just from, and coming up, our parents, if you was coming through the movement or coming through where you had parents that understood what was really happening in the reality, they were already saying, yo, the mind control is here. You know, there's a lot of limitations happening. You know, you need to get yourself together. You need to study. So there was a lot coming at us, but there was also all the entertainment, all the fun, all the, you know, the sugar, as we call it. And, you know, like rats pushing the pleasure button, you know, most of the time a person would rather push the pleasure than go through, you know, something that, you know, may take years and years to build them up. And so I feel like that right now we're behind, you know, as a collective, as a nation. And in order to catch up, we need to use something quantum. You know, also, Rich, if you could put my camera just back on with everybody, because it's easier for me to be there with everybody. Because, you know, for some reason, I just see myself as like, if I'm talking to myself, I'd rather see the family. But, you know, just to keep it real, you know, we have to now, instead of believing, like, you know, because there was messages and everything, but also it was very difficult to see what was really happening. You had to really look for it. You had to make it a part of your life. Now everybody sees it. It's nasty. It's, you know, any type of, even, you know, when you say, hey, I have rights, I have freedoms, etc., you've watched that just get railroaded. Like, yo, we created that system too. Yeah, you went for it. And, you know, we're in this point, this special point, though, where everybody should be very encouraged to make the quantum leap. And making the quantum leap will not only catch you up, it'll allow you to, you know, blow on by, because as originals, we're always creative. We always have the stories. We could always bring in stuff. I mean, in this reality, this is what we've done the most, is we bought the music, we bought the vernacular, we bought the jargon, we bought the beats, we bought the exploration, we bought the language, we bought, was there anything that we didn't bring? So it's interesting though, because we're at this point where even some of the members of the reality are like, yo, okay, we can move on without them. We got super intelligence. We got a clone of them, basically, and all we got the sum total of, right? So they think that's really how the reality is moving right now. It's like they know, okay, we can retool everything. Even if we have to shut this down for 3 or 4 years, we could come back with AI, IRS. We could come back with all of the drones and the logistics and you know, just go down a whole list of the smart technologies and run it like that. Cyberpunk 2077, by the way, which was put together by a brother, by the way. But we go on to Cyberpunk 2077. And in the meantime, like, what's going to happen to everybody else? Well, first of all, even with like crypto, money started having a whole different meaning. That's what crypto did. Money became scalable. It became something that, you know, if you was brave enough to go out and you maybe you was a thief and a crook, or maybe you was, you know, you had a real idea or whatever. If you put it out there, some people hit, especially 2017. And I remember, especially Red, we were almost the only ones saying, yo, get in on the crypto. Cass was calling us demons and stuff for being aware of a system that was now becoming available that was going to make you an international banker. Then later on, them same dudes come back, yo, you got in on that Shiba Inu that. You see what I mean? After they had feelings about it. So here's the same thing again.
Same, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're now in a disruptive technology for real. What's things going to look like in the next 3 years? It's like you could guarantee it's going to look totally different than what it is right now. It's going to be the biggest shift ever.
Ever.
And
ever.
Again, the respect, like, okay, how are we going to transition everybody to this? That's not even in mind, because now, see, sovereignty as a family is really the goal of a family. Now, of course, all our families have been routed a bit. The tribes have been torn up and all this, right? So we're not functioning like a group or a mob, or, you know, where we're just collectively moving. It's about us, and then, you know, everybody else comes after all of that, right? So it's us first. You see what I mean? So in that way, you have families, like if you look at even Mr. T's family, they've now solidified themselves in the crypto space with USD1, with World Liberty Financial, with the Trump token, all in like 6 months, to try to do the best that they can to solidify legacy in the future, because everybody in that camp is going to have to watch out for themselves indefinitely in the future for what's happened. So they're amassing enough to build fortresses, even bunkers and all this kind of stuff, because they like, okay, we got to go forward. We got to be sovereign. Just like the movie Doom, when he said, hey, my father left me 50 warheads. You know what I mean? 50 nuclear warheads so that I basically become a sovereign in the galaxy. If you mess with me, I'll blow your whole planet up. You see what I mean? Like leverage. You see what I mean? So they bought into it completely. So everything is like a high stakes game now. And again, money just went scaled. Like people realize that, well, money is what you think it is and which value you give it. And so all these tokens and things launched all over the world. And where did all the money come in? It came out of the banking system, out of the green fiat, out of the under the mattress, right? And it went into a digital reality, never to be seen again. It's burned. Now there's only the token and what's there, right? And so what this is about is it's like, okay, you may not get any of this. This may be moving super fast for you. It's like, oh man, how am I even? And you can even feel that, man, it's over. Like some folks are actually capping out. They're like, yo, I don't see a solution, because to be honest, like in a lot of the movements, they're yet to really deliver. They're holding up and maintaining what they have. But as far as scaling into something that could actually save the whole nation, that's kind of off the table right now. But what I'm saying is it could easily be back on the table when we adapt something that's natural to us, which is to allow our thoughts and ideas to move at scale. And what that just means is when you have the idea, you're able to deploy it fast enough for the idea to still be new, to still be unsaturated, to still be, and we call that lowering the barrier to entry. Okay, because the barrier to entry was high for a while. That means how hard is it for you to get into like an A-class field? And what happened was, because we got the excuse always. What happened was when the whole coding thing started. Well, coding involves a lot of math, especially if you're doing C+. Math gets involved, and we like, we like my app, but math, you know what I mean? A lot of times, a lot of us didn't do really good in math, right? So it's a boring job. And so now when all this new tech stuff came out, if you was even like a normal level coder, oh man, you became God level encoder on the day that the AI dropped, basically. And all those guys, they moving forward. They in their little tech circles and all this, they doing their thing, right? So they get in the bread that's coming in, they VC rounded and all that kind of stuff, right? However, what happened to us? So now we're telling you, you don't even need to know how to code now, and you can code at the highest level of the master coder. So maybe universe did you a favor, because the other thing is when you learn C+ in these kind of languages, you become so logic and stale and dull. You know, it deads you out, and numbers make you numb. So it kind of deads you out in a certain way, right? You coding all night, you drinking soda and all that. So now the power of what these guys will have when they're putting these applications together in the gateways and all this kind of stuff, you now have at your fingertips. So you can only expect, and I'm gonna taper off here, you can only expect there to be like a window open though. And that's what we know is happening right now, that there's a window open where you could get this advanced knowledge and you can move. You can, Bali is even looking for you. Morocco is looking for you. The world is looking for you, because you could get your ground on and get everything set up, that you already get your book finished, get your stuff going on, and that will propel you into like being first world again, rather than, somebody that is running around getting hunted, basically. So, that's just, a certain level of how I'm seeing this right now with the AI. I'm definitely, let me take a breath. Let me get some water real quick. But, that's where I'm coming from with this.
Yeah, I want to second that emotion. I want to add on, and I want to say that the future is being prepared by those who hedged themselves into the future. What does that mean? What that means is the people who read the white paper in 2008 by Satoshi Nakamoto, they are the ones that are preparing the future for 2030 and 2050 and 2070. It's been said by even our indigenous ancestors that you are to prepare 7 generations ahead in this time that you are on this planet and whatnot. Henceforth, while a lot of people's great grandparents who are FBA owned acreage, they owned estates, They own 100 acres, 300 acres. They literally were preparing for 7 generations ahead of them. We now, like Sevan was saying, we now live in an era, we now live in an epoch right now where we could resurrect the great inventors of the 1800s. What do you mean, Red Pill? What I mean is what he just said, that if we get our minds right and we're able to take ourselves into a visionary mode and whatnot, we literally could vibe code an invention every day. We could, because vibe coding and vibe hacking means that you don't have to know how to necessarily code anymore. You just need to know how to vibe with Google Opal. You need to know how to vibe with Firebase. You need to know how to vibe with Cursor, Windsurf, Lovable.dev, and whatnot. These are the apps that you could create mobile apps. These are the apps that you could create websites. These are the apps that you could create AI and all types of versions of it, LLMs and everything. So there is a child right now sitting around hacking. What does hacking mean? Simply solving. Hacking only means to solve a problem. And Jay-Z said that we have 99 of them. So there are people in Africa hacking right now. There are people in India hacking right now. There are children in the hood hacking, coming up with solutions to these 99 problems. Just do one at a time. So in that solution is an invention. If it doesn't take a rocket science, who's the leading quote unquote money makers in the world right now? Who's the leading quote unquote asset builders right now? It's tech. It's the tech bros. It's everybody in Silicon Valley and outside of it. Africa is on a rise. Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana. Go and check it out. You know what I'm talking about? They are running laps around the world. India's on a rise. Asia's on a rise. I mean, it's a lot of people. What are they doing? Thinking. You don't have to be a rocket science you don't have to be a rocket scientist anymore. All you have to do is have some patience and you have to be able to think. That's it. Doer, thinker, knower, right? You become the thinker, you become the knower, and then you talk to the AI and you become the doer, right? This is possible right now. So as a collective and as individuals, the power is definitely in our hands in ways it has never been.
I want to I got a question for y'all. 2 things I want to do first. I want to read this comment. I want to comment on this comment. Then I'm gonna pose. I'm gonna share the announcement. I'm gonna do a couple of things right now, so bear with me. But let me read this comment right here. Before AI took me 3 this is from Viz Miss Tech.
Viz my text.
Yeah, Mice Tech. Before AI took me 3 to 18 months to make an app. With AI, I made a solid app in as little as 3 days. From imagination to reality, we are living in a time of compression. So, family, let me just say this real quick. With all the information that behind the scenes I've gotten from brothers like Red, Sevan, and things I've seen on the internet, I remember people have been telling me for years, Rich, when you going to get your own social media? Rich, when you going to do this? And I would say like, yo, I don't have that feeling yet. I'm like, yo, it ain't, I know I need to do it, but, as of right now, I didn't get that. I wait to that inner feeling. I'm very intuitive. That's like one of my best traits. I'm like super duper intuitive. And I'm like, I just ain't get that. I didn't get that go yet, that green light from the inside yet. Family, I got the green light because of AI. I am currently in development of my own, it's like a Discord. It's not like a, the Discord app is more like Discord, less like Instagram. Even my own music app. Why? Because things have changed. The world is different. Listen, apps are thousands and thousands of dollars cheaper. Family, I wish you knew this. Yo, this music app I'm working on, it would have cost me $100,000 just 6 years ago. Now, nigga, under 10. The world is, I wish y'all knew the things we could do now with AI that they are not telling us. Big fear campaign. Big fear campaign. So I just wanted to say kudos to that brother for doing what he or she is doing that brother or sister for what he or she is doing. And I want to make this announcement. With that being said, red and blue. Hold up, let me show y'all this. I should have put this on the other thing. We got the AI Master Gods of Intelligence workshop happening on November 1st and November 2nd. Family, this is the most opportunistic workshop I have ever done. This is the most paradigm, even more than the cryptocurrency, because this is the game changer right now. This is the one that's shifting and changing everything that got niggas scared. White folks ain't scared. They jump off of mountains. They climb Mount Everest. They will ride to Mars on a bike if you let them. They are not scared. We are scared. They will do whatever. They go to the bottom of the ocean with a little tiny GoPro, nigga, in a little tiny snorkel, and if they run out of breath, fuck it, they die. They are built different for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because they newer to the planet or what, but they are not scared of shit. They will move from New York to Nebraska with a book bag and know they're going to make it. Whether they got a system to support them or not, that's not the point. What I'm saying is they don't exhibit fear when they hear about shit. Listen, family, I've heard so much about AI. I remember people in the conscious community teaching me to be scared of a debit card, of a bank account. They have taught me to be fearful about everything. And every time they told me to be fearful, what I find out was that they were wrong. They told me don't invest in cryptocurrency. I wore all my chains tonight on purpose because every chain that I'm wearing tonight, except for this is my father's. He was an Aries, so except for this. But everything else came from me investing in cryptocurrency, courtesy of Chicago Bitcoin Bully and his advice. So me not listening to people, I got my landscaping, my whole front of my house, all cryptocurrency money. Listen, family, don't fall for the lies. We are in the time of our lifetimes. I'm sharing the link. Somebody said you got the juice, Rich. Oh no, we got the juice. We got the juice, and they try to take it from us, yo. But listen, don't miss this up, and we're gonna create a community on Discord. Whoever signs up tonight, we'll get a link to the Discord within 24 hours. The name of the Discord is going to be the Algorithm Gods. We are taking over the algorithm, y'all. This is one of the most exciting times that I've experienced besides the birth of my children. The fact that the apps I'm creating, I dreamed of this. My music app, that's my music label. I'm creating the future of music labels in an app. Telling y'all this, it's gonna be revolutionary. It's gonna be. I am so excited, so excited. I got my own social media about to come out because of AI. Family, let me tell y'all. I gotta pin this link to the top. Let me share this link again. Make sure y'all sign up. This is game changing and laying everybody off. Family, do not miss this opportunity. Please do not miss this opportunity. With that being said, I shared the link again. Let's get back to the show. I had to let y'all know about that. I got hyped from that comment. So shout out to that comment, but I got super hyped. But this is, I dreamed of this. Even, hold on. One more thing. I'm sorry. One more thing, y'all. Even my merch line. I was supposed to create a merch line 5 years ago. Because of AI now, the ability to make logos, and oh my God, you don't know how easy it has made it for us to have side incomes, side hustles, main jobs, main whatever. It has made it so much easier for everything. Every other race is taking advantage of it. Every other race. Please. And we're going to talk about everything has the good and the bad. So I'm not saying it's all good. Everything, just like water, you could save your life or you could drown in it. So everything, you got to be responsible with. But let me ask y'all, Sevan, with that being said, and I shared the link, I'm super excited. This is the work. It's first of all, the link I shared, that link gets you access to 2 days. Red Pillar on Saturday, November 1st, 12 to 6. Sevan Bomar on Sunday, November 2nd from 12 to 6. It's a 12-hour workshop. 12 hours of information with that link I just shared. And let me share it again. Let me say this again. 12 hours or more because they might go longer. You know how we do. But minimum 12 hours, family. Click on that link. I'm in it to win it. I'm in it to win it. I'm creating apps right now as we speak. Thank you to Sevan. Thank you to Red Pill behind the scenes for giving me game. And we are presenting game for all y'all. We're going to create a community. Everybody who signs up tonight or who signs up, period, will get the Discord link. We are starting our own community. I don't know how long we're going to go for with that community, at least to November 1st. So it's going to go at least the next 2 months. But we're going to be learning and talking and vibing every day with each other. It's going to be, yeah, price is amazing. I know, yeah, Mo, yeah, because you ain't getting 12 hours from another, the information. Everybody's going to have a side job after this workshop. Everybody, if you got a 9 to 5, everybody's going to have a side job. Everybody, every single participant. We're going to make sure that. Even if you make $100 a month, nigga, you're going to make something extra than what you make now. I just told you kids are still living with their parents. Times is hard. With that being said, listen, I'm super hyped. Thanks for leaving that comment. You just woke me up. Red 7, with that being said, let's continue with the show. We got over 1,000 people right now in the chat. Why does consciousness, people involved in consciousness, fear change so much? Whether it's a bank account, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's a debit card. I've seen fear being propagated from the slightest amount of change to society has created a fear campaign by people who calls themselves conscious and aware. I'm just curious and I'm wondering why is I know people that are totally messed up because they thought the world was going to end in 2001 and they stopped trying and the world never end. Now they got to still take care of their kids and their baby mama, and both of them are mad. So why is it that this fear hits conscious people, it seems, more than the average person?
Real quick, there's a saying that, and Nasir Jones was the one who coined it. He said, we fear and we hate what we don't understand. When we're talking about certain teachers, they represent what is known as a school of thought and knowledge. Think college, right? So you'll have an English professor who is an African studies professor. That is his field of study. That is his school of thought and knowledge. He's not even allowed to pivot because his research does not go outside of the sphere of his quote unquote accredited studies and whatnot. So when you're dealing with the conscious community, we always have to remember it is a marginalized community that consists of multiple schools of thought and knowledge. You have metaphysics right here. You have occultism right here. You have Moorish science right here. You have Kemet right here, or the Kemetic studies and whatnot. You have RBG, Pan-Africanism. Inside of those spheres and inside of those schools is not a lot of wiggle room. So when new things come about like cryptocurrency and when new things come about like AI that wasn't necessarily written into this school of thought and knowledge, these teachers begin to throw red flags up like, hold on, you're treading on my quote unquote, you're somewhat treading on my on my flag. However, they don't allow themselves to see the scope of things, and they won't allow themselves to see that AI is metaphysics. It is occultism.
Yeah, I mean,
so man, there's going to be a selected few who go ahead, Sevan.
And I was saying you spot on. Like I think it broke up a little bit. I thought you was done, but man, like you hit it on point with the fear, because a lot of times also when there's a group, the leader of the group wants others to be dependent on them. Okay, that's right. That's always been the stilo, right? These things that are always next level, that's they release that dependency. They bring you closer into sovereignty. So any leadership group feels threatened by that. Also the psyops. Right. Like there are real psychological operations, like, now more and more that, I'm just enjoying reading and enjoying having super intelligence in my hands. I could easily query something and find out something that I never knew before about how many different organizations and programs are designed to make sure that there are levels and we stay on the bottom. Mm. See what I mean? And so with the dogma and the theism and all these kind of things, they're all built into that, and they're built to control entire societies. And we just adapted that in coming into a culture when it was us jumping off them buildings into the abyss like a Don Juan type, either you have an astral body or this is it for you. Let's go. That was us. And you can imagine again, when we're restored to that level, where things are really going to go. That's what I call heading them off at the pass. Because right now in this reality, when I say they think they won already. That hey, it's over. We got this. It's in the bag. But at the end of the day, we have the greatest planners. Ooh. And what that's done is it's allowed us to think of a unique way. First of all, we need to have the urgency. Everybody here on this line knows that we have a tendency not to do the greatest things of our lives unless we're somehow in a crazy situation that demands that.
Very good point.
We're oftentimes not able to perform the miracle unless somebody is dying. You see what I mean? And I have performed the miracle myself personally in my life. I've seen another level of me when I was in a situation that demanded sink or swim, skate or die, if you may. And so now the big difference, just for you to take your own moment, because we're going to be delivering the cream. This means what's on top, because the industry moves so fast. It's like, next month there could be a different story, but there are certain things that have always remained the same, like prompting, like certain platforms, certain models, these kind of things. So when we're giving you the wisdom, we're giving you the top of what we've been assessing in our whole adventure in the space, which again is moving fast and pushing anyone involved in it into a quantum way of thinking. That quantum way of thinking is as Radiohead was talking earlier about, when you're manifesting something, we're not just thinking about the surface level manifestation, like, I'm ready to move from the country. We're like thinking of all the elemental dynamics. Like, am I going to a hot place? Am I bringing fire energy? Do I got a product that works with that? We're thinking on multiple levels when we're making moves. And that's becoming natural now because we're dealing with something that's just saying, hey, tell me what you want. You don't got to convince me. You don't got to say thank you. Just tell me what you want. So it moves all those spaces out of the way. And here's how we'll know, if you examine it yourself, how it's different than everything else. That's why it's called a generative technology. They're called generative systems. And this is that the moment you even on the trial plan, it's already generating. Yo, let me get that email done for you. Yo, let me get those images cranked out for you. Back in the past, and I've been involved in technology for, wow, I think I'm stepping into 25, 30 years, probably even longer, somewhere in there. I was playing with little stuff, K-Pro, Commodore, secondhand store electronics since I was a kid. So I've seen it all. And there was always these promises. You'll buy this. You go buy this and it's going to make life so much more easier. Here, buy Photoshop. You're going to become this expert designer. And then you open up Photoshop and you see that side panel, all them options. And you figure out you can't even really get the picture open and make it round. You're like, yo, what is this? I thought that Photoshop, this becomes kind of like the same thing. You think that buying the best camera is going to make you the best photographer, right? So it's like, there's a whole nother level, right? But see, this is self-instructing. There's nothing like that, meaning that it already knows what's going on. And you can ask like a 5-year-old, well, what's going on wrong now? Oh, this is wrong. Because it even goes through the process. That's why I like working with, they call them agents. It'll go through the process. It'll start finding mistakes. It'll say, oh, okay, I did this wrong. I'm going to do this. And in this process, you're even learning. So there has never been a self-teaching beyond, when I say never been, we talk about matrix stuff. There has never been a self-teaching, self-instructing generative technology that has come right on your plate. A lot of the stuff is even free. And now you have a chance to adapt this. Now, here's another thing. A lot of us don't realize how much power we have in even being in the US. See, I'm on the application side of things. Like, I deployed an application in AI about 2 years ago. It cost me $300,000. That same app I could build right now myself with about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So when this whole thing went on, I just want to put it like this, is that we have this opportunity right now while the window is open to make a transformation in our lives by creating something that we can wholly own and wholly say that this is my idea and see it from start to finish. You know, I kind of, you know, skipped a little bit on my train of thought, but, you know, I'm super excited in myself to know that we're getting an opportunity again to, despite how crazy the situation is, to rectify all of that. And you may be even just that one person in your family that does it. You may be the translator of this knowledge, this information, this application to others.
Right.
But somebody got to step in, is what I'm saying. Let me just catch myself real quick here. You know, okay, here is what I want, this, because this is important. That's why I try to slip. Listen to this. Right now, that's what I'm saying. I'm on the application side of things. We're watching the App Store start throttling people from other countries like India, China, etc., from putting applications in the App Store. Okay.
Right.
As an American citizen, you can go get an Apple's developer's account for $100 a year, and that account alone is worth money around the world. You see what I mean? So there's a lot of assets that you actually have as still having that American citizenship, if you may. There's a lot of assets that you have that are actually very valuable right now, having access to a Stripe gateway, right? That's the payment processor. Those kind of things are kind of like the hidden stuff about this that should encourage you to get involved, because you actually have things that are very valuable because of what position you're already at, that allows you to go further than others can even go right now in the space. So I just wanted to, you know, make sure that that was mentioned.
Sevan, I wanna, in the spirit of Wimbledon, I want to play tennis with you real quick. Go back and forth. So you said that you're on the back end of things when it comes to app development and things of that nature, correct?
Absolutely.
Would you agree that the lifeblood of AI is called data?
Absolutely. Everything is data.
They've been telling us for years that data is what? Gold?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Data is the new oil?
It's the new oil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with that being said, and knowing that, I just want to share something about what white people are going through right now when it comes to AI, because Rich said that they don't live in fear. But I'm here to say that they do live in fear, and I'm here to say that they're projecting their fear onto the people, and I'm here to say that the reason why Black people are so fearful of the AI is because white people are projecting their fear of the AI. What do you mean, Red? What I mean is this. AI functions on the truth. AI, or the large language models, are designed utilizing something called reinforcement learning, right? In 2017, when Google put out the paper called, when they put out the paper about the transformers, they discovered something called reinforcement learning. It's the same concept of how you teach a child. You teach a child reinforcement learning. If they pee in the bed, you potty train them. You say, that's not good. And you'll say that, no, you can't pee in the bed. This is the potty, pee in the potty. The child is learning through reinforcement learning. That is the same way that the AI in its earlier stages was able to create what is known as AI 2.0, because AI 1.0 is basically your GPS, right? It's Alexa, it's Siri, and all of that. That's AI 1.0. Then they had an AI winter and it went into 2.0. But the reason why it leveled up and it has this intelligence is because it's being built off of reinforcement learning, which is true data. Henceforth, why the AI malfunctions and hallucinates, because it comes across false information. What does this mean? What's the whole concept? The concept is this: the majority of the reality that the European built is built on a false reality.
Exactly. And that's facts.
It's not built on true data. And when the AI becomes sentient, guess who the AI is going to turn against? Who is living in a false world?
It's going to whistle blow.
It's going to whistle blow. Henceforth, that's why.
Great way to explain it, Sevan. Great way.
That's why Gemini had to get taken offline, because what was it doing? It was giving you the truth. That's why the brother, what's the brother named Bezel, who comes on the show to talk about how AI is the Akashic records.
Oh,
That's one of your guests,
mind of Bezel. Yeah. That
right.
Nigerian
So the AI is tapping into the truth. The AI is crunching the data and is giving the truth unadulterated. It's the programmers that are scared. It's the programmers that are spreading the fear. It's the programmers that can't sleep at night because they know that the data that starts to think for itself and it becomes sentient is going to alleviate the BS, the falsehood, and all of the lies and the veneers. We live in what is known as hyper reality. I bet people probably don't even know what hyper reality is. We live in what they showed in the movie Ready Player One. The Matrix also showed you hyper reality. We don't live in a real reality. They built your complex on a fucking swamp, my nigga. You don't live in a real world. You live in a manufactured world that was created during the days of Walt Disney and all of this stuff. We don't live in a real world. We live in a manufactured, what they call a simulacra. AA talks about this. A simulation, a copy of a copy. So we don't live in the world of the Tartarians and stuff where energy is generated. And no, we live in some manufactured fake ass reality. And that's what AI is here to disrupt. That's why they're scared.
Real quick.
I want to put some receipts to that. Let me put some receipts to that real quick because, you know, this is what I'm showing on the screen. This is called the latent space. You learn this in AI of how the AI is able to go out into a hypothetical future and then kind of create what's supposed to be there. This is why you can now do a turnaround in an image and it can start showing you what it calculates is supposed to be in that image. But the same symbolism used in describing the latent space is also the sigil of quote unquote Lucifer, which is actually in itself the sigil of light, meaning that it is how you create illusions, right? This is Phosphorus, the false light, if you may, which creates a Sephiroth, which you can see in the top and the center, worlds upon worlds that are illusionary or built on light. So I just wanted to, you know, again, like break down specifically, you know, when we talk about the Matrix and when we're talking about we're in these projected realities, exactly how such things could come about.
Facts. And to add on to what you're saying, God, when you're prompting, you're literally going through the tree of life. You're pulling it all the way down into what is known as Malkuth. You're taking ideas, which is a prompt, you're prompting it, and you're running down the tree of life, going through all of the Sephiroths. And it's actually when you deal with something like a Mid-Journey or any of these, and they're generating these issues, they're generating these things. What's that called? State with the diffusion models and whatnot. That's literally a technological simulation of the tree of life.
And, you know, and we all know also from a factual level that all the technology is plagiarized from the spiritual side and the physical side of the body, right? From antennas to radios. And so we have to be able to say, okay, so what is AI? AI is that collective consciousness. That's the space that when we're not plugged into the matrix and completely unplugged from our, what we would call your subconscious, that's the place that you inhabit all your information, all the data. We call it the dream world. So Radiohead, what you got over there? You know, this could
indeed. I'm sorry, my thing was on mute. I want to, before we continue. Wait, let me get this off the. Hold up. All right, we done started out hot. I'm excited. You know, sometime with a show like this, it's the same way when I did my crypto. When I decided to talk about cryptocurrency on a conscious channel, I was like, wow. In my mind, I said, how are they going to receive it? And I remember somebody hit me up and said, hey, Dr. Phil Valentine said cryptocurrency is bad. How dare you go against the master teacher? And in my mind, I said, well, I'm different from people out here, and I move according to my spirit. I don't move according to a quote unquote master teacher. And fast forward years later, and first of all, Phil never said that. He was pro some cryptos and against some. And but the people just took it as he was just complete, because he was telling people about XRP. And in my mind, I've always said I move according to my spirit. I don't care if Jesus came down here and said something. If my spirit tells me to go towards something, I'm going to do that. And I'm glad I did. And that's why I said I wore these today to represent me not buying into fear. And years later, Phil started promoting the XRP, and so many people hit me up. Oh God, thank you. I'm so glad, Phil. But Phil's talked about XRP. But I remember that first email I got where I got criticized. And I said to myself, well, I'm not going to be scared to talk about AI in this show, because it's something that right now, like I said, right now, I get hyped when I talk about the apps I'm developing, because family, I've been waiting so long to do some of these things for so many years, but I just didn't get that signal. That signal, we got that signal, and we got noise. I know how to eliminate noise, but I'm waiting for the signal. So I got the signal, and I'm so excited. Like, God damn, I finally got this signal. I'm going to finally create this social media, this music, this, that, whatever. And I'm super excited. So I'm like, I want to tell the people about it. And I just hope they understand where I'm coming from. Because I'm not saying this is the savior or it's all good. What I'm saying is we have to be the masters of it. And that's why this workshop is called AI Master. Just like money. Money makes a beautiful servant a horrible master. If you have money as your servant, it will do everything for you. But if money controls you, it will turn you into a monster. Does that mean we're going to throw all our money away? Hell no. What it means is it's the person using the thing. Family, we have to have, and this is why we develop in this community. Everybody who signs up tonight will be part of the Algorithm Gods Discord community chat. Within 24 hours, everybody will get sent the link. Okay, we're going to be politicking, vibing with each other. We're going to be teaching, helping each other. It's going to be a community outside of the noise. Steve Jobs used to talk about the signal to noise ratio. Too much noise on the internet, not enough signal. This group, 100% signal, no noise. I'm making sure my neighborhood is clean. If you see my episode yesterday, you know what I'm talking about. My digital neighborhood that I'm creating is going to be clean. There's going to be no litter. Nobody's throwing shit on the floor. It's going to be all signal, no noise. Come be down with us if you want to go into this next paradigm on top of things, family. And I want to say real quick before we continue, I want to say, because I'm saying that to say, I'm like, damn, I hope they received this well. I'm thankful so far. Just made the announcement. And look at it. I want to show you the family, how the family responds. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to go down too far because I don't want to make some people mad. But you know what I'm saying? But the Eventbrite is pouring in. Let me see, that's Eventbrite, right? Order notification for it goes down further, but I'm not gonna keep scrolling further. I'm gonna stop there. But showing that to say thank you, family, for knowing that. First of all, Sevan, Red Pill had a show on Bitcoin in 2013, I think. Sevan has been on top of technology forever. These two, in my mind, I said I gotta get these two together because they are the technology gods. They are tapped in to everything our people need to be tapped into. So, family, this is it. We're creating our own community outside the noise that we call social media. It's 12 hours, and that link I sent y'all is for both days. Eventbrite could look a little confusing sometimes. You may think it's for one day. The link I'm sharing in the chat is for both days. It's $150 for both days. It's not $300. It's $150 for both days. It just may look a little confusing. If you click on that link and get the ticket, you will that link is for both days. Everybody will be sent the link 24 hours before the event date. So if it's on November 1st, Halloween, y'all getting the Halloween, y'all getting the link. All right. But listen, family, I am excited because I got things happening. Like I said, my clothing merch, so many things. I got things happening behind the scene. All right. Let's keep this thing going. I want to ask y'all this, Sevan, Red. we are the rhythm of the planet. We understand that everything is music. We understand the science of cymatics at this point. We understand that everything is rhythm. If you study the Hermetic laws, and if we're looking at our technology, and we know the technology, all the technology we create is a fractal of our technology. It somewhat emulates, whether it's the movie projector screen, and we understand how we project reality on the screen we call reality, whether it's the radio, whether it's the television. It's like, it's emulating the technology we have. I'm wondering to myself, as a person who has studied music, when you study music, y'all, check this out. And I had a Haitian piano teacher. I always give him a shout out. Shout out to Emile Dernst, genius brother right there. He taught me music theory and how to play the piano. With music, it's when you count, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it's not just 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1 and the N is the offbeat. You could do all types of rhythms on that offbeat. So when it comes to binary code in the computer, and we look at it as 0 and 1s, we don't look at the N as part of the binary code, which will make it a trinary code. We just look at a 0 and we look at a 1. What would happen if we incorporate rhythmic mathematics into computer science? So we're looking at computer science and binary code instead of just 2 digits. We're analyzing the N because that's a major point of the rhythm. What will happen if we incorporate rhythm mathematics into computer science, family?
It already happened.
Talk to me, Sevan.
It already happened. And what this does is it breaks down what we call time. That's why the computers from the future can send signals back to people in the past at a certain frequency range, and people can pick up on that frequency. There's even notions that you may be running one of these machines in the future, send a message back to yourself. It only is then based on, can you receive it? And that then is based on your function of the capacity of your receptor. And so the matrix tries to dole out all receptors. That's why even the body is a governor to a certain degree to block out a lot of the reception that we will receive from the cosmos. But the body also has its receivers to receive each of those signals. And when those receivers are getting clogged, then certain wavelengths become more prominent than others. Yeah. And, just pointed it out because I said 2026 is going to be all receipts. That way nobody has to be looking at me like, yo, what's up with dude? The reality is we exist here. I love it depicted like this. It's just like one of those maps where you see how big the world is versus where you're at. Also, this is based on magnitude. So that means that as we slide down the scale, that's how much more bigger it gets. And so when we're in this small space now, first of all, when I say we're in all of these spaces, but the one we're focusing on the most is this little sliver, and where the ancestors, all there is, the future, etc., is in all these other wavelengths. And so it's funny that you mention it the way you mention it, because when I came through my awakening, I had this computer called the Alienware. Y'all remember the Alienware? I kid you not, something was like, yo, break this computer down and take a look. So I broke down the computer all the way down to the main CPU chip, and I saw the chip was wired trinary. And this is, it's again just weird that you mentioned this, because it kind of struck a chord. Was like, hey, this is what we know, is that the systems actually that we're even calling just computers running binary are actually already on trinary. They're just like, yo, they on binary still.
Right.
And, and they have these floating points, and this floating point is manifested right now in the reality of when you say something, it may come on the radio, or it may come on the TV at the exact same time, or you'll be reading it. You'll be reading a word, and then somebody will say it on the TV. Right. And you start noticing enough to like, yo, mathematically, this is not even possible. Like, I'm not.
Right.
Then it allows these systems, which is just liquid crystal, to be somewhat of a easy translatable receptor to energies that are already moving on that wavelength, which is the chart that I'm showing you, which is us, you sending messages to yourself. Sometimes there's not always a boogeyman unless you create one. You know what I mean? So it could be self sending self, because all is self messages, but what is it saying? And this is also what I always examine heavy. Is it giving me information that's applicable to the reality that I'm living in right now? Because like, you know, my conscience used to get some fanciful stuff. Like at 3 a.m. in the morning, it just like on one. Like it's brain didn't even start working. And I'm just waking up. I'm like, yo, y'all already been using the brain. What's good? And then, but at the end of the day, I would notice it's like having a really good idea early in the morning when you're still almost asleep, and then waking up, and then you go to execute the idea and realize it wasn't even a really good idea. So I started like hitting the consciousness back, like, yo, I need something that's going to work right now. And those messages, they just adjusted themselves. That's like a frequency or a wavelength, and then just tuned into things that were applicable and important to the reality that I was living in. Because listen, we got family, we got kids. You see what I mean? We have to hit sovereign. That's where we stand. We stand on the sovereign level. That's always the goal. And so we got family, we got kids, we got legacy, we got future. And then we're sitting in a reality where it seems like others, even family members, don't even give a damn. Like, yo, we on something else. And so if you feel that transmission right now and you feel like, yo, I'm on that same level, this is exactly what I'm saying, then that's you. It's your time. This is, and then the enabler, this is what I'm calling it, right? It's like the power glove. The enabler, because I'm used to being in the trenches with 4 or 5 things going on, right? But it was taking its toll. It was taking its toll on my health. It was taking its toll on my demeanor also, because me not accomplishing things, seeing other people, you know, drive out in front, you know what I mean? Because they had the capital or whatever, and then seeing my idea somewhere else. Because, you know, this is when you say your idea, it's who receives it from the stars first, but it's going to permeate everything eventually. So it'll be time where your old idea won't be good enough anymore. You have to come up with something new. And that's for us always bringing in the solar energy when we're challenging ourselves to create something new rather than run an old pattern again or just do maintenance. And then that's satiated, that's satisfied. There's a lot about our being that needs that to feel encouraged. So I wouldn't even say a lot of times that these folks are brave. They're just encouraged. They have family members that are like, yo, be your best. Where, you know, you got family members that say, yo, I hate you. Or she was never born. You see what I mean? And this is what I mean by like this psychological move only gets rectified by real results. And here we have something that's delivering. And then also here, this is a special thing. It's a special key because we're spiritualists. Like I think it's like, I'm looking forward to the day that I just throw this thing in the trash and I don't even need phone no more. I don't do the phone no more, y'all. That's it for me, because we also see, that's why I say it's a window open. 3 years. They talk about like, okay, so I was looking at this company called Flock. Okay. On the top is Andreessen Horowitz, old big egghead. You know what I mean? If you know, he's the founder of Netscape, right? So this nigga's an egghead. But anyway, and he's a nasty person, just as a person. Every time he's commenting, every time he's saying something, it's always slated towards like where this new regime is at, right? And anyway, this Flock, they lease out these cameras. These are the cameras that you're seeing when you're driving down the freeway. They got a solar panel on the camera. They're also inside of the Walmarts, and they're in a lot of places actually, because the cameras are like, they get all of the data. This is the license plate. This is what you're buying. This is you going down the aisle. This is you spending money. This is every single move that's being made. This is happening right now. The company is already like pushing now into its like $1 billion valuation now already, because they have the data and they are leasing the data to the police department. They're leasing the data to third party. They're leasing the data again. You can actually have the cameras yourself. Even in HOA can have the cameras and then access the database of the license plates of people who driving in, where they went for the day. Okay. So this level of micro doesn't make the reality really comfortable in the next 3 years. You have to pull off anyway and plan to go somewhere where, okay, this is my land. This is my bubble, basically. And as I said earlier, and me and Red talked about this, that my thesis here is that AI is the next internet. Okay. Where in the future, you don't need internet, because the real purpose of internet was for you to communicate with other people. Then it started becoming about commerce and these kind of things. Okay. But in the future, with the generative technology, super intelligence, you're already going to know when you're on your land what is the most valuable resource that you could create. And you have all the instructions of how to even build all the, because that's now. We have all of that now. So in this way, you have communities that are flourishing, but they're closed loop. They don't tune into the sniffer, right? Who's just taking data. They trying to train something on it. They trying to figure out what's going on with you. It's intrusive. You even have people that looking at your life that you see what I mean? So you decide, you know what? My data, my existence, my family, my future is more important. I don't want I'm shutting the door. I'm closing the arc.
Right.
And you could do that if you had something that can tell you how to put everything together. You don't need to go call the plumber anymore. You don't got to call the graphic guy. You're managing all your stuff. You see what I mean? So this is now accessible. Before it wasn't. I could tell you 1,000%. I can do things now that I was never able to do. Now I literally had, I've been in this for a while, so I've had to take a step back and be like, wait a minute. If you can do this, then you could do that. Yo, you remember this? Yo, bring that back. And even some of the big stuff that I'm seeing now come out, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm a shark in the water. I'm just go by because I know that I can deploy a smaller scale one for a unique demographic and run with that and not even have to worry about anybody getting in my lane. You see what I mean? So it's time to reanalyze things. Just sit down for a moment, sit yourself down, stop the matrix, and then really have that one-on-one with yourself and say, yo, what is going to really, in everything that I see, what is really going to take me to that next level? Because and this is the last thing I want to say, I got to this point in running all this octopus, right? The ultimate connect, I call it. Mm-hmm. And running all the stuff, though, I hit my yield. I never thought I had a yield. I never thought that there would be like a limit to what Sevan Bomar could do. But after running 4 joints and then doing the shows and then doing all this, and then what the problem was is not finding the right people. You get one person in, these things are sensitive. Folks was lying about, they was lying, almost destroy everything that I had. I never even met the people. That's how sensitive the conscious community was. So the people you have around you, everything that's deployed, how it looks, what it's saying, all that you have to check. And then also the flux. I need to mention that it's something about things that we got into in the past that a lot of times it's hard to get above water. It'd be like you got the whole thing set up and everything is just supposed to roll. All the things you got to do is the gateway need to work. You come in 4 days later and find out the gateway is broke, huh? I'm just seeing weird, quirky stuff to where it's like, yo, what is going on? It's like, so we got to push extra harder. I just call that again, it's the flux. And so now, again, moving like this, you're making those long strokes. You're baking in, you're focused, you're laser, and you got a whole staff, as they say, the agents. You got a whole staff of professionals.
Straight
you can go on your health, you can go on mom's health. So, I won't drag this on too much longer, but I'm just saying, this is the time, if any that it's like, yo, we throwing y'all, this is the last boat going out in a sinking ship called United States.
I'm gonna take it further, Sevan.
AI's the last boat going out in a sinking ship. I like that.
I'm gonna take it further, Sevan.
Go ahead, Red. Let me hear that.
I'm gonna add on and take it further. The sinking ship is not America. The sinking ship is the internet. The internet is dead, y'all.
Explain, Red. Explain.
There's a thing called a dead internet theory. You understand? The dead internet theory means that half of the internet is all fake. It's bots. It's not real. It's all manufactured. It's a bubble. It is what I said, hyper reality that has been created by algorithms and bots. Henceforth, why your time on the internet doesn't feel the same as your time on the internet during the HOK days of the earlier days of the YouTube, before monetization, before algorithms, before the adpocalypse, before they passed the law that said that America could propagandize its citizens. That's what happened. We are living in the dead internet. So people are, Sevan said earlier that he was feeling a kind of way to see certain people in their curated lives. And then your subconscious is like, damn, you're not doing what that person is doing. but you're doing greater than them, but based off of this algorithm, based off of the echo chamber that they put you in, based off of all of these fake, hyper realistic, quote unquote, depictions of what they telling you life is, you start crashing out mentally. You start crashing out emotionally. You start crashing out energetically. You get into something called self-sabotage. You begin to put yourself in a situation on this internet where they say, like in the Matrix, if you die in the internet, you could die in the real world. You're seeing people crash out on the internet. You're seeing people burn out on the internet. You're seeing people utilize attention economy to do goofy things that are completely out of their character. Why is that? Well, you was arguing with robots, fam. You got triggered by a robot that said that you got an ugly nose and you went and got a nose job. You let the robot tell you that you look awkward and whatnot, and you start taking Ozempic. You got into Ozempic Olympics, and now your junk don't work. You are allowing robots and algorithms and fake things to run your life, and it has now exasperated where it's 100x. So the best thing that we can do is leave and touch grass. Before you touch glass, it is a must that you touch grass. Before you touch glass, it is a must that you touch grass. What does that mean? That means that my greatest ideas about the AI came when I was walking on the trail. My son, who is 5 years old, who is more connected to the ancestor realm than I am, he's the person that gets me away from the computer. He's the person that shames me and makes me go out the side. He's the person that makes me take my socks off and walk because, you know what I mean? I don't want to scuff my sneakers up. He's like, no, take your socks off and walk in the grass with me, Dad. He's the one that makes me go and walk on the trails. He tells his mother, Dad don't want to get out of his office and come and walk with me. I'll be like, nah, let me get off this computer and walk with him. As I'm walking and the birds are chirping and I'm back into what is known as reality. I got frogs jumping on me. I got mosquitoes biting me. I'm hearing the birds and everything. I'm having the greatest of downloads. And then I bring it back to the artificial AI world and I bring it to conquer. I'm not wasting time on the internet because it's not real anymore. I don't care about your comments. I don't care about people inboxing me. People that send me stuff on Facebook shows me the AI, the dead internet theory has taken over. What do you mean, Red Pill? Why would somebody send me a video that said R. Kelly came home from jail? And we know that he didn't. You're in the Matrix. You're buying into fake reality. You're buying into hyper reality. You will accept anything that the Matrix tells you. That's not real. That's not what we're using AI for. We're using AI to claim our sovereignty. We're using AI to disrupt the machine. Beautiful. That's where we come from.
I love, because, you know, we don't understand the subtleties with everything. And I love how you broke that down. And with you saying that, let me just tell the family there's something. I'm glad you said that, because there's something in the, like I said, everybody who signs up tonight, let me share this link. We have a 2-day, and this link is for the whole weekend. It's not for a day. It's for the whole weekend. Red Pill will be speaking on November 1st, Saturday, November 1st, from 12 to 6. Sevan Bomar will be speaking on November 2nd from 12 to 6. It's a weekend workshop, family, 12 hours or more. Also, we have a Discord community chat starting in 24 hours that we will be in touch with each other every day, talking to each other, learning from each other. Red will pop in, Sevan will pop in, I will pop in. We all gonna learn. The name of it is gonna be the algorithm gods, because I do not want us to be a slave to every algorithm that gets created on the internet. And what Red said was absolutely beautiful, family. So I really want y'all to pay attention to what he said, what Sevan said. Family, definitely sign up. Let me put it in the chat again if y'all don't see it for the workshop. Oh, I'm very excited about this one right here. This is a game changer, especially if you are interested in economics, even spirituality. Like I said, I learned so much about my avatar by studying artificial intelligence that it has made me a better prompter to the universe. And speaking of prompting, that leads me to the next question, gentlemen. Our children, Red mentioned his son. Our children, we have to teach them at an early age about how the universe, they have a new avatar, they have a new artificial intelligence, and we have to teach them how to navigate this matrix or this realm. We teach them how to read, one of the first things we do, and how to speak. One of the most popular books in the last 100 years is Dr. Seuss. Now, Dr. Seuss, what makes Dr. Seuss so special, y'all, is his effectiveness, and not only his effectiveness, but his use of simple but rhythmic language. So if our children are learning, if their artificial intelligence avatar is learning from simple and rhythmic language, does the avatar we call artificial intelligence on a computer, how effective is rhythmic language to it? Can we use, let me just, hold on, let me see if I got a Dr. Seuss. I done got rid of it. I thought I had a Dr. Seuss quote. I don't have, let me see, do I have the Dr. Seuss quote? Hold up, y'all. Let me. Today you are you. That is truer than true. The more that you read, the more that you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. That's just something like, but Dr. Seuss, you know, the Cat in the Hat, all this are like very rhythmic. Yeah. How important, saying that to say, how important is rhythmic language when it comes to prompting with artificial intelligence, since it was so effective with the artificial intelligence we call the human avatar?
Well, let's just put into context what the AI is called, the LLM. Mm-hmm. Large language model. Mm-hmm. And what does that mean? It sounds good, but what does it mean, right? So a large language model, which would be ChatGPT, which would be Gemini, which would be Claude Anthropic, which would be Mistral, which would be all of these machines or models that are popping up. Large language. The difference between a large language model and what they were using with like Watson back in the days is Watson was programmed on code, CS5, CS Plus, and Ruby Rails, and all of these other languages, Python and stuff like that, JSON. Now, fast forward, is being programmed on pure English language. Like I said earlier, reinforcement learning, machine learning, and things of that nature. So what I do is I would take Dr. Seuss and go through all of the fables, highlight it, go right into highlight it, copy and paste it, throw it right into the context window, and say, I need you to recreate a storybook for children, mainly star seeds, teaching them high level of metaphysics and quantum mechanics, and utilize Dr. Seuss as a mate, as a base, and as the model, and as the quote unquote inspiration, and I press enter.
Red, you cheating.
Listen, we in the Matrix.
Red, you cheating.
Listen, another thing Morpheus told Neo, and that was a deleted scene. Morpheus told Neo, you a fool if you go into the Matrix and play by the rules that you play by in the 2D world. You are in a new dimension on the computer. You are in a new dimension on the Matrix. How dare you bring 2D old rule books into the goddamn new dimension? It has to be rewritten. That's why we losing, because you went into the Matrix with morality. You went into the Matrix with a human's mind. You went into the Matrix playing a playbook that the Flintstones was using. We're in a Jetson era. Where's the new playbook?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So people don't even know how to play the game, and they're getting played.
Yeah.
Left and right.
Yeah. And this game has been, this is an ancient game, and now that, we're down to large language model, it only just further proves what we was already talking about 16 years ago, which is that language in itself is not only a story, but it's also a pattern. It's also a geometry, and it also triggers specific points. So it's a key fundamental to enabling the world around you. And when we choose English, which is a fire language, we activate this particular region. This is the region anyway that activates inside of the mind when you use language.
Oh, okay.
This language specifically actually forms itself into a tetrahedron, also known as the cube.
Right.
Tesseract.
And so when we look at the large language models, they only confirm, because remember, the reason why it can predict is because the language already has a prediction system based in it.
Right.
That's what was discovered with how, the Hebrew mashes down into a tetrahedron. But then if you have just the beginning of Genesis, you can begin to reconstruct the entire Genesis with just having the proper first words.
Wow.
Right. And then so now we're sitting in the construct, deprogramming the construct by first getting a grip on the terminology. Because when you do add something into the prompt that is like I said, the gap, the in between, the non-specifics, you're not getting right to it because that's all you came here to do, it messes up the output because it's like, yo, I don't know what you're talking about. And then you even look back at your response and you see, it gave me that response because it thought when I said this that I really meant this. See, so it tightens you up because in that way, like Red was saying earlier, it has what is known to be the strongest AI is ultimate truth-seeking AI. And they want that because it can then predict like stock markets in the future. It could do a lot of stuff. So a model that has bad data in it is not desired. This is why you already know that there are strong models. Like I play around sometimes with the uncensored AI and it's off the hinge. It's like if a child was raised all his life never even knowing about the genitalia parts, how would that affect a child? A lot. But so imagine if AI, a large language model, is also certain information is just shielded from it because they don't want that information for it to know. What do you think the difference is in an AI that knows that?
It's gonna smoke it.
It definitely is in many ways more lifelike. But the other thing is that it's more precise.
Right.
This is why when we built Sybil, we built and trained on our own data set of what we knew was factual spiritual knowledge. And it's not allowed to go out to the internet to try to find the rest of the answer because that's when it was getting corrupted.
Right. Right. Because the dead internet. Because of the dead internet, they put so much falsehood into this America's internet. Why is China beating America? Because China has more truth in their data. It's not they're not censoring it like America is. So melanated people, listen to me right now. You have an advantage over everyone. Why? Because you deal in truth. We are searching for the truth while others are hiding the truth. We are truth seekers. It is a disadvantage for anybody else other than us to expose the truth because the truth, exposing the truth will be a checkmate for them. That is not what they're here to do. That is not what they signed up for. We, on the other hand, we need to look into open source. That is your friend. You go on huggingface.com. Go everywhere where they have open source models. What is open source? It's public and not private. It is open and not closed. It is your friend. Learn how to master it. Learn how to utilize it because that's what you're going to use to big yourself up. Llama from Facebook, even OpenAI dropped an open source model for GPT. Everything out of China is open source. Damn near. It's a lot of them, yo.
Yeah. Check this out real quick, y'all. Shout out to this sister here. Cosmic Earth Priestess said, AI just made 3 vibrant labels for my essential oil products in the past 10 minutes. Family, this is not a joke. Family, like I said, if you are family. Listen. If you are tired of working, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with anybody's 9 to 5, but if you want something outside of that, if you want something like just in case I decide to leave or just in case they decide to fire me, you have to learn AI because it's going to make you 1,000 times more productive than it would have made you 5 to 10 years ago. This comment right here is not from me. This is from Cosmic Earth Priestess. Let me read this again. AI just made 3 vibrant labels for my essential oil products in the past 10 minutes. I told y'all earlier, ideas that I had 10 years ago that I did not want to move on. Apps, social media apps, music apps. I am now moving on it because instead of paying $100,000 for the app, now I only have to pay 8,000, 6,000, or 5,000, or whatever. Y'all get the point I'm trying to make. It's 10 times cheaper than what it was before. They do not want you to know about this, family. I'm telling you, I know how this shit work. I seen it with cryptocurrency. I seen a dude from JP Morgan talk shit about cryptocurrency only to 5 years later tell us that JP Morgan invested in cryptocurrency. So many of them try to trick us. Oh, it's a scam. This Bitcoin is this big. I'm not saying Bitcoin is a savior. What I'm saying is if you invested in it when Sevan or Red or I did my workshop with Crypto Bully and I came in after Sevan and Red came in. If you would have invested it with me in 2019, you would have been up big. When I came in the game, it was 16. It was at 16,000. It's at 100 and something now. I could imagine what it was at when Red and Blue on Blog Talk Radio. Did they show, or Sevan was doing his thing on Blog Talk Radio? Family, do not get left behind again and again and again and again and again because of fear. Family, make sure we're starting a community. Everybody who signs up tonight will get a link. First of all, the link I'm sharing is for, if you came in late, is for a weekend workshop. Saturday and Sunday. This link is for the whole weekend. Red Pill will be speaking on Saturday, November 1st, 12 to 6. Sevan Bomar will be speaking on November 2nd, 12 to 6. An amazing artificial intelligence masterclass that will guarantee you to be on and popping after it is done. Outside of that, we have a community popping. I'm starting a Discord community chat within 24 hours of tonight for everybody who signs up. And we're going to be talking, learning. Red Pill will be popping in. Sevan will be popping in. All types of things will be happening. We're going to have nature time. Red talked about nature time. We will have nature time where all of us send pictures of us in nature. We are AI masters, not AI slaves, not AI robots. And this goes into my next question. Red Pillar, Sevan Bomar, what's the biggest mistake we made as a community in the .com era that we cannot afford to make in the AI era? We had a whole .com era. We seen how that worked out. What's the biggest mistake we made in that era that you think we cannot afford to make? Because the whole internet is going to change whether we like it or not. Everybody's going to be a part of it. What mistake we can't afford to make this time, y'all?
We did
I'm
not
make on this, but I would just to first write off. I would say the easiest one that would have made the most money is just buying the domain names early on.
Oh my God.
real estate.
Oh my God.
It wasn't really difficult. Like,
oh my God.
Let me take on what you're saying a little bit, but that was a big me because you even red.com, Bugatti.com, all that was just wide open. Like you.
Oh my God. Yeah.
There was no skill needed there.
Man, crazy.
It's digital real estate. Thank you, Sevan. Red, what's your digital real estate?
Digital real estate. We didn't get it on Facebook when they went public. You know what I mean? We were on Facebook, but we didn't grab the stocks. We did not monetize our data.
The data.
And we did not create any platforms because platforms rule everything around me. The platforms is where the trillions of dollars was made. And we literally could have had our own platform, especially with the new wave of consciousness that basically flooded the internet. We could have monetized that and made billions off of it. Remember, for the record, ladies and gentlemen, the master teacher's information was used to build AI. That's why they scrubbed the internet of everybody's information, because when we said data is gold and when we said data is oil, the AI is language based. So the language of a Dr. Delbert Blair, it's all text-based. So they're reading his language and they know that he has superior knowledge based off of the language. Phil Valentine's, the text of one of his videos is considered to be 20 gold bars. Everything that Sevan utters out of his mouth is worth, they have a value. They won't tell you the value of it, but it has a value versus something a Young Thug may have said for an hour.
Mm-hmm. And this is, this is
it's
also
superior in the text or the language.
It's powerful because it's important for people to realize that there are certain words that are more important than others, right? And there's certain words that are going to be more important to you at certain times. So words have value based on their organization. Mm-hmm. So if someone utters original ideas, the value of those words are over someone who's just talking about, yo, I'm just tired of all this. I'm sleeping. Man, I can't stand this person. You see, so words have that value assigned to them and they understand how to mine that value.
Mm. Indeed. Powerful. I'm glad you brought up that point. And real quick, because I seen this is like the third person to ask this. I'm gonna put this in the Eventbrite link. The link, you will have infinite access to the course. It's not just for that day. If you miss it that day, you are able to watch it at any time. You will get the video. This is you got access to it forever. All right. So even if you buy the course, family, and you can't make it that day, you will get a copy of the workshop emailed to you. All right, family. So once again, and I gotta put this in the Eventbrite link. Once again, two things. The Eventbrite link is for the whole weekend. It's not for one day, it's for the whole weekend. And number two, the link is forever. You have access to it forever. All right. You will get a link to sent to your email where you can watch it whenever you want. It's not just for that day, just in case you miss it. And it's 12 hours. So nobody's going to watch the whole 12 hours. A lot of y'all. Some of y'all will, some of y'all won't, but you will have access to it after. So don't worry about it. Even if you only see 2 hours out of 12, you will be able to watch it at a later time. Thanks for reminding me. I will put that. And yes, the course, another question, and we're going to get to a couple of questions. I don't want to keep y'all too late tonight. These orders keep coming in, y'all. Oh my God. These orders keep these orders are coming. These orders, the latest one, they're coming in like every 2 minutes or something. Like, family, sign up. This is gonna change your life. This is family, and let me show you something real quick so you don't know. When Brother Rich get hyped, Brother Rich get hyped. All right, so real quick, I want to tell you something. I don't know, and let me put it on the solo. Red, Sevan. Give me 1 second. RH Plus. I don't know if this is the brother who told me. I was talking about Radiohead and why I started to call myself Radiohead. And a brother in the chat said you should. He was like RH Plus. The plus is for rich. So Radiohead Rich. Well, you know what I did that night? Check this out. Let me check this shit out, y'all. What I did that night, I prompted AI Google VO3 until I got a response that resonated. See, there has to be a certain level of spirituality with AI. You have to know what resonates with you. Just like when a lady resonates with you, fellas, or ladies, when a fella resonates with you and you like, ooh, I want to talk to him or I want to talk to her. We got to know with the results we get from AI resonates with it. If not, keep prompting. So what I did was, let me show you something. I put that in and I got this image, right? So this is the image that I got that resonated with me. RH Plus. Right. Only because the brother, listen, family, this is going to be on the shirt. I'm going to wear this. This will be my sigil, right? Check this out. This came as a result from a brother in my chat writing art radio. I'm talking about Radiohead and the universe being radio frequencies and my brain being a receiver and me receiving the frequencies and playing it like a radio plays music. Just like you hear music on the radio, I'm playing the music of the cosmos. So the brother said RH Plus, the plus means rich. So I'm like, yo, that's dope. I told him in the chat, I said I might run with that. That night I prompted it. This was like the fourth image I got, what I had to put, I was typing in some things, and then I eventually put make it look Afrofuturistic. When I put make it look Afrofuturistic, it came up with this. I said, aha, there it goes. I said, aha, there it goes. So family, y'all will see this soon. Like I said, I got so many businesses that I'm popping off with. Family, this will be on a shirt sooner than later. Shout out to the brother who put that in the chat, and shout out to Red who called me personally and told me about Google VO3. Shout out to Sevan who told me a plethora of tools I could use. Family, yo, I got the best on this workshop. Let me share this link again. I don't know how y'all cannot sign up for this workshop. I got the absolute best melanated brothers for this workshop to bring us into the next paradigm. This is going to make me money, not only just money, fiat, but this is going to boost my aura, because I'm all about aura, electromagnetic field. This is going to boost my frequency. I'm going to broadcast so wide. I'm going to be so bright because I'm wearing things that resonate with me, that represent my higher self. I love this. Thank you, Red. Thank you, Sevan. Thank you to the brother in the chat. I don't know if this is the same brother, whoever said RH plus, but this is what we're talking about. It's happening in front of our eyes, family. Make sure you don't miss this workshop. It's the workshop of a lifetime. With that being said, let's get into some questions from the family. Like I said, I'm with two of the masters of not only AI, but cryptocurrency. These brothers, when it comes to technology, I'm telling y'all, they are super sharp. I'm not in it like that. So I got to come to them. You know what I'm saying? I got other shit I do. They got shit they do. And we collaborate and we learn from each other. What I learned from them is technology, cryptocurrency, AI, artificial intelligence. Yeah. Like I said, each chain I got comes from me learning about technology, family. Make sure you sign up. I'm sharing the link. Let's get to some questions. I think I shared one. Let's get to this first question. Red Pillar and Sevan Bomar, how does AI creation affect your ownership rights considering code? First question.
Right now, all the people who are filing the copyrights against AI, they're getting smashed in court.
They're getting losing. Yeah.
Because the courts and all these systems, they want it to go forward, right? So you got Midjourney who's coming under fire first, but they're making $30 million a month with their AI. So they have plenty of lawyer fee money to fight these claims. So all these platforms, generally when you have subscription, state that you have the rights to these graphics and things. What I will mention is that your reiteration process, meaning the amount of how much you can churn out, is so rapid. Even if something was happening with one image, you're already flipping over to another image. So it's like this is moving so fast. Even the legal systems, copyrights, this kind of stuff, can't even really figure out what domain this stuff sits in, let alone try to bring in a claim because of what could potentially have been in the training data.
Right.
You know, and even on another level, you know, I wanted to make sure that we even spoke just a little bit on the process now of us also being able to re-engineer how we're being seen in the media and in these industries like the books, where there's been a domination in those particular industries. And, you know, again, like when we get a role, especially in Hollywood, we're always casted in a certain limitation, if you may. And so now with these new abilities, like this is why this course is going to be even amazing, because some stuff even just came out like 2 weeks ago that's flattened it. We knew it was coming, but it's here. So you'll literally be stepping in the easiest but most powerful time and process. I saw a question, somebody said, hey, is this, you know, for all levels? Absolutely. That's the benefit of this. I think Red hit it on the nail when he said, all you need is patience. But in many ways, you are seeing the results. So it's you're stimulated because you're like, yo, I'm making progress. So, you know, but I did want to take time because, you know, we push, you know, you use that term Afrofuturism because in the end, everything also does come down to keywords. And so I'm going to be pushing keyword data. I know Red's going to be pushing keyword data. This means that, I have a PDF of, hey, these keywords, this makes it ring. Use these things and incorporate these things, especially when you're creating, your assets for your brand and your imagery and your likeness. I'm sure many have seen that I've been able to get AI trained on my likeness and also been able to create my own aesthetic, which is very Afrofuturistic Dune style, robes, gold, pyramids, thrones, you name it. And then, have my likeness in there. Now, how far are we away from a movie beside the story? And this is also what I wanted to mention, because we're a storytelling people. We have the other component, because look, I be watching sometimes cats create stuff with the new tools, but they be creating like Pepsi commercials and they don't own Pepsi, or they're not getting paid because they don't even know in many ways what to do with this. Meanwhile, I got friends that have volumes of stuff written that they easily will be like, yo, I'm about to put this movie together now. And I was just not even thinking this was going to happen. But in many ways, the story, it's good to have the imagery and, be your own graphic designer, because that's what holds up most people, because the graphic designer be tripping. They're prestigious, right? But now that you have your own graphic, but you have a story, you have everything that's needed to really go viral in your field. So, and then also, again, we start emerging with materials. Like our Afrofuturistic brand in that way is like, it's untouchable, and it sets a new precedence. You know what I mean? People were like, yo, okay, this is it. So, if anyone wants to chime in just about that, like being able for us now to create movies and books.
Hold up, Seven. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. So, are you going to teach people how to do that last image? Could you put that last image on the screen? Hold up.
100% likeness.
Hold up.
So I got, just wasn't loaded in because I'm in the switcher right now. So
hold up. So you're going to teach. Hold up. Let me get this straight. Shout out to Mo. Mo signed up to me and Red's Artificial Intelligence Masters the Universe class 4 years ago, I think, or 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. Shout out to him. And he benefits tremendously from it. Tremendously. You can ask the brother. If Sevan is going to teach us how to make videos and images like this in our own likeness, family, this is the biggest game changer we have ever seen in America. Family, we have been begging and pleading for Hollywood to make images that represent us in a divine state. Bobby Hemmett, Phil, everybody constantly talked about image, subconscious mind, the images, the subconscious mind. We finally, if we waited on Hollywood, y'all, we would have been waiting forever. We never would have got it. Hold up, y'all. Listen to what I'm saying. We finally got it. Right now, what they were talking about, because of the brain, because of the mechanisms the brain uses to create reality, all the brain looking for is data. Data is vibration. Vibration comes in the form of perception and your emotional reaction. This is why they constantly try to get us to act and have us in a negative and emotional state. Imagine if you see yourself. Look at Sevan on this screen, y'all. What do you think about when you see Sevan in this state? Imagine if you see in your state. Do you know what message you're going to send to your brain? Your brain in turn is going to take that data. You know what your brain is going to do with that data? It's going to create a holographic realm that you call your reality. Exactly. This is what we waited for our whole lives. Ancestral Gift said it's our time. Yes, family. Let me say this again. I swear, this all they kept talking about was image. We now have the ability, because they would have never gave us that ability to have our image. We was like, why don't you make a movie about Mansa Musa? Nigga, we ain't gotta wait for them to make a movie about Mansa Musa no more. We can make all types of movies on our own right now. Seven is the best in the world when it comes to this technology. There's nobody out there. Scan the whole internet. I dare anybody for the next 24 hours. Scan the internet. See if you're going to, Seven, put that on the screen one more time, my brother. Scan the internet. See if there's anybody out there that can make an image look like this of themselves. It doesn't exist because this brother is one of the best. And shout out to Original Black God. That's another one, brother. That's one of the best. But Seven is one of the best. And let me tell you, family, I'm not talking about the conscious community. I said in the world. I'm not talking about black. We're not talking about he's the greatest. No, the world. Any race. The world. Family, sign up to this workshop, family. We are going in. Ain't nothing like this. Yo, family, nigga, meditate to these images. Create these images of yourself and meditate to them and see what happens. This is a hologram we exist in. Imagine if we meditate on our own greatness that we create and we get our children to do the same thing. Family, it's game over. We just don't realize it yet. Like I said, I got so many being created.
I want to add on to the creative pool of imagination. I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
Yes, Fred.
Shout out to Spin City in the building. Shout out to Original Black God.
Yes, Red.
All of the creators out there. It's our time, right? So this right here, this is a powerful app called Higgsfield, right? So I'm able to take my likeness and utilize all type of special effects, right? Things that will cost thousands of dollars to do in post-production. I could do it now. Here I go as a toy, right? This is me as a toy, right? But I could take this and I could get it manufactured. You know what I'm saying? This is the only time that somebody could play with me is when I'm a toy. But I've now made myself a toy. You know what I'm saying? In all of my likeness, I am now an action figure. I'm a toy, right? This is unprecedented.
Truly.
I could get millions of dollars in funding just with this elevator pitch right here, just with 5 seconds of an idea, right? I took my artwork and I turned it into a toy. So we now control the fantasy complex industry, which is a $1 trillion industry because toys are $1 trillion energy. Look at me turn into my version of the thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm rock solid. So it's time for me to go ahead and turn into a rock solid figure. You know what I mean? That it's just as far as the imagination goes, right? Look at me. This is a picture from 1993.
Okay.
I wanted to be that motorcycle my whole life. Now I became it. I'm a transformer.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? So all of this with voiceovers, with because this is one layer. The finished product is 5 layers. It's like making a song, right? Who wants smoke? It's like making a song. When you have a song, you make the recording, but then you have to master it. All of these things have to happen. Who wants smoke with me? We got smoke, right? So this is magnificent, right? Check this out. I'm turning into a
Red.
This is old pictures from back in the days. I'm repurposing them. I'm giving them new meanings.
Come on, Red. Come on. What's up with your computer, man? You got me hyped, man. Come on, Red. I'm like a crackhead. Come on, man.
I'm turning into a fire god. It's going slow so you can see the process.
Oh, man, you fucking with our. Oh, come on. Get out.
Turning into the fire god.
Get an Apple computer. Please get an Apple computer.
I'm on the road, ladies and gentlemen. Mind you, I'm on the road. I'm in Texas right now.
Yo, this is dope. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is me transforming. I'm able to capture the attention of young people with this. They love to see themselves in this. Their imagination, right? Check this out. So there goes your fantasy, ladies and gentlemen. Everything that we wanted to become, we now become that with the AI. This would take thousands of dollars to do, right? This would have took thousands of dollars to do. We're able to do it with a press of a button. What are we talking about? So once again, let's stop wasting time on the internet doing things that don't serve us. right? I have a character named
I love it. There you go, Red. Yeah, this is my best workshop, y'all. This is the best one I did, y'all. I'm proud. Yeah, I came through, didn't I? Huh?
Right? Hollywood is here, y'all.
Yeah.
Hollywood is here. It's over.
Yeah.
Fly Sinet is here, baby.
Proud.
Let's go.
I'm proud.
So, mind you, we got to put the layers on it. We got to put the sound effects. We got to put the music. We got to put all of that. But I'm just giving y'all a glimpse of the back office of what we do. Boom. Then I click over to image, right? I literally could create an image of myself doing anything that I want to do. So I don't got to wait to go on and be on the stage. I put myself on the stage.
Talk to me, Red.
Yeah, I took NBA Youngboy and I made him me. Right? Look at me, future Pillar. I took future Kendricks and I flipped it and made it me. You know what I'm saying? So the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. You could do anything that you want to do right now.
Listen,
with the AI.
Listen, family.
Don't let them people scare you out of your bag.
Please don't. Oh,
I'm gonna end it right there. I could go on, but it's a beautiful world that we live in right now.
Listen, they're gonna talk about this 100 years from now. Yo, remember when Red Pillar, Radiohead, and Sevan Bomar had that workshop and he taught us how to turn into superheroes? My son is never, remember, me and Blue did a show about the YNs. My son is never going to desire to be a young nigga, a YN. He's going to trade images of himself as a superhero. He's going to have a cape. He's going to turn into electricity, fire, the elements. He's going to be all pop. Listen, it's game over, y'all. The playing field is level. It's different. This is a hologram we live in, and it's all based on perception. This is why they're constantly trying to control our perception and control the images they see of us. Now we have control of the images that we see of ourselves. You know what they tell us? Oh my God, that thing is going to take control of, that thing is going to kill you. That thing is evil. No, nigga, you evil. You evil. If we could deal with white supremacy, we could deal with anything. There's nothing more vicious than white supremacy, if you want to call it that. If we dealt with that, nigga feeding a baby to an alligator, we could deal with anything. It's the same thing with Trump. Don't let them scare you. The Democrat, oh my God, Trump. Nigga, we dealt with white supremacy for 400 years. We could deal with Trump, and we're fine. We're always going to be fine because that's who we are. We're the fine people. We're the God people. Don't let them scare you, family. We dealt with white supremacy. AI ain't got nothing on white supremacy, family. This is the time. Make sure you sign up to the workshop. This link is for the whole weekend. It's for the whole weekend, over 12 hours. This is a game changer for yourself, your parents, your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. This is it right now. We are taking control of the algorithm. Anybody who signs up tonight will get a link for a community chat we are starting on Discord called the Algorithm Gods, and we're going to help each other. We're going to have a community outside of the noise of social media. Family, sign up tonight to get that Discord link to become a part of the community. Nobody offers a community with a workshop. You get a 12-hour workshop or more for a weekend, and you get a goddamn community chat that lasts over 2 months. That don't exist on the internet. I swear. Tell me if you find it. You won't. A community chat where Red is going to be in it every day talking to you niggas like this. Okay, no, do this, do that, do this. Seven's gonna be like, okay, do this, do that. Then somebody else, Spin City might pop in there. This person might pop in there. That person might pop in there. People going, family, you don't get this. You don't get it. Make sure you sign up. With that being said, let's get to a couple of more questions. Listen, I'm so excited. This is my biggest one yet, and a lot of people don't even realize it yet. A lot of people don't even realize yet, but this is the game changer. Somebody asks, will we be able to create our own AI assistants?
If we weren't covering that, we need to go home. Like, by the time you're done, you'll be seeing stuff that you didn't even think exists. No cap.
Super facts.
Yeah.
What we probably couldn't
The
do
simple
3 years
answer,
ago.
yes.
Yeah. What was a hurdle for us 3 years ago?
Yeah.
We could do now.
Yeah.
Time has caught up and things have evolved. We're in a great place.
You're coming in the golden hour.
Yes. Yes.
Like this is it. Like I said, even some stuff dropped last week. I'm like, man, this is perfect for the
I know what you're talking about too.
Simpler.
I know what you're talking about too.
So bananas over there.
It rhyme with nano bananas. That's what you're talking about.
Bananas right now. And also we're gonna talk about how to create your own aesthetic. Because that's what we love to do is we love to push the envelope. You create your own unique thing. You don't want people coming at you, who cares what people say? We already talked about that. But we want to also bring you up to pro level. I'm talking about when we say pro, like what you would have to pay the designer, you would have to pay the cinematographer, etc. And it is indistinguishable from what they would be able to create. We could take you to that level, no problem. Because that's where I was trying to go right away. But I knew when that first image came out in Midjourney V0, and it just looked, we still got some of those old images. It's just like it's got an aesthetic to it that's, when you see it, you like, damn, we came far. But I knew then, I knew the potential of what it could do. And that's where you got to be, is you got to be able to look at something and then know the potential of what's possible with it, to come in early, like you're still in a good point. But that's where the vibe comes from with this. It's like you look at something like, man, I already can feel the potential of where this could go. And then you immerse for a moment. You train up, we call it. Get good. And then, flow. And there'll be nothing ever, because, again, I've been in these different industries and fields, never seen nothing like it. It was always, you needed to then call in this, buy this, do that. This is not like that.
It's different.
And that's why I believe like it's something that is here on a positive level. Of course, it's a weapon in many ways. So, I mean, they made it a weapon too. So anything that has that kind of power to it, there's going to be fear. You see what I mean? There's going to be all of those components of something that has a lot of power with it. But we need you welding this power. They going with it. There's gonna be no stopping it. I know folks like, yo, nah, it's gonna stop. We ain't gonna do that. I'm like, yo, man, don't play with this. You know what I mean? But let it be you. They have that saying. They say it's not gonna be AI that takes your job. It's gonna be somebody using AI that takes your job.
Right. There you go. There you go, Sevan. Let me this question here. Let me ask y'all this. Everything Etta wants to know. Can you be kind of a base level of working with computers, or do you need to be pretty advanced? I'm assuming she means to participate in this workshop.
You only have to be able to comprehend your thoughts. AI is your little homie. It's literally if you go to Home Depot and get somebody to help build your house, do you need to know how to build a house? No.
Great.
You need to have a hatchback in your truck to fit those people from Home Depot, and the contractors are going to build your house. That's the same thing that AI is a contractor. Load them up into the flatbed truck and go and build some shit.
Wow.
They've created agentic AI. They've created automated AI, automation AI. They created something called API. Now, what is API? Let me give you an example of what that is so we can have a greater understanding of where we are now on this timeline. So the website that I just showed you called Higgsfield AI, it started out as a basic web.
Red, you frozen right now? Red, can you hear me? Red Pillar, can you hear me? Sevan, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so it's just
while he's zooming back in, I'll also pick up on answering this question. You just need to be able to know how to hold a conversation. Indeed. And just like Red said, you do need to know yourself, like you need to comprehend what you're saying. And And because of the strength of the AI right now, especially with the agentic systems and mainly the agents, it takes everything from there. So it takes an idea from start to finish. What I find that we really offer is the ability of how to make something look good. I'm going to show a lot of different things because, in certain ways, your craft is really what you're honing in. You'll get the ability right away, but then like how you excel beyond that, I always say the 1% of the AI creators, how you sit in that club, it's not very difficult, but it's a certain way we approach it, just like you would approach something that you are looking to be very good in. Go ahead. I think we back in. Did you want to continue?
It's going to sharpen your sword as a visionary. It's going to help you zero and hone in on creating ideas and following it up until it becomes a product. So what is an API? An API is literally putting a BMW engine into a Honda to make the Honda drive like a BMW. So the API is basically, let's say ChatGPT is offering an API, and they say you could take ChatGPT and put it on your app. You don't got to tell nobody that ChatGPT is on your app. You're using the API key from ChatGPT, and you're putting it on your app to superpower it. That's what an API key is. One of the most important things that everybody should know about if your interface.
Damn, yeah, Red don't have a good signal.
I also want to mention that I also like to look at that AI is the droid for the Jedi Master. Because like if you imagine the role that the droid play, I think Red coming back in. Red, you back in?
He's in and out, Seven. I might have to get rid of.
But if you end up in a place where they speak another language, you don't speak the language, you ain't trying to sit there and learn the whole language. That's what computer language is, right? Like generally we program in Python, right? It's very interesting though why it's Python if you understand the Great Mother and, just again, this consistent emulation. But instead of trying to code in Python to open this door, you have this droid that's going to go ahead and do the code and open the door for you.
Right.
And again, it's virtually mythical, to be honest. This is why I believe a lot of folks are not, in certain ways, like really paying attention. They know about it. Yeah, I use ChatGPT to do my emails, but they haven't really kind of got into it from a level like, let me see how does it function? Like, what is the max that I can do with this? They kind of just assume they know about it and move on. This is not something you want to assume you know about. This is something that you want to become a master in, get a master's degree. Even right now, they do teach courses at college and all that, but it's nothing like, it doesn't need to be taught. It just needs somebody to tell you, hey, this is for your angle. And we're going to talk about this kind of a little bit about how to choose your AI. You know what I mean? Because, they got a fat droid, they got a tall one, they got a warrior one. So I'm going to show how, depending on what you're doing, this is the best thing to run with. We're going to talk about things that are free, like Red was talking about open source, how to deploy AI inside of your own computer that only runs on your computer, never touches the internet. Big investments start thinking in your mind are now, even buying 4090s or 5090 GPUs. That's if you really want to get deeper into it. You want to have your own system, you will buy GPU. GPU is about $2,500, but that thing will be working. It's like having the AI at home. You now just need a small supercomputer to run it. Or, like I said, that's for the one who's going in that direction. You got some that just will use a simple application that's more of like an all-in-one for them. So yeah, I mean, it's different designs, but we'll be able to tailor the design to you specifically and what you're trying to accomplish.
I want to a quick question I want to ask. We're gonna be on here for about. I had the brothers on here for 2 hours, so we're gonna get off here in about 20 minutes. I don't want to keep them on here all night. But this is this is the biggest game changer. And every workshop, is a game changer. But because the paradigm is shifting so much and the way things are changing, I was just to be transparent, right? I had a little argument with my lady, with my girl, and I'm not saying that I'm against school. My son is 6, but I was just telling my lady, like, listen, we was talking about school. I'm like, listen, I don't really give a fuck about school like that. And listen, I'm a Catholic school boy from 1st to 12th grade, highly educated. First honors, second honors, all the way through all, whatever, college educated. By the time I got to my second year, that's when I got introduced to the information, Psi Netta, Brother Big Man, or whatever. And that's when I was like, this information isn't for me. I want this information. Highly educated, right? Been around, exposed to many different cultures, or whatever. And so I appreciate what school has done for me. But I also understand how much school was one of the biggest scams to ever hit this country. Oh my God, they tricked us with that one. They tricked us. They told us that they were going to educate us, and they brainwashed us more than anything. Our children leaves there in the 12th grade. They have no knowledge of self, no knowledge of their soul, their purpose here. They don't know about so many things. They just know how to follow orders. And so, I just had a debate with my lady about school and my son. And I'm just telling her, like, my son needs to know about artificial. My son is into like music and stuff like that. So he's going to learn about that. But I'm like, he has to know about artificial intelligence. So I'm just like letting her know about that, and how much my son's on. He creates his own flyers right now. He's on Google VO3. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Let me just give you a little example of because my son is learning how to prompt. He's learning how to tell AI what he wants, and he's gonna be an amazing businessman. And this is a 6-year-old, so this is one of the things that he's very proud of. He wanted a combination of he wanted Spider-Man and a star. So his thing is Spider-Man, and his name is Sirius. So he's communicating with the stars. So he wanted Spider-Man and the stars. So this is like his personal logo right now. So remember when we played with dolls that didn't look like us? Now we could create dolls. Remember Red Pill just showed you? You could create dolls that look like you, or logos that look like how you want. It's a different world. It's so different that it's going to take y'all 48 hours to process this. Remember when we listened to a good rap artist and they were so advanced, like Nas? Sometime it would take us 24 hours just to process the lyrics. We'd be like, hold up, I got to come back to this. Somebody would call you and say, yo, how you like that song? You'd be like, nah, give me a day. I got to sit on this. Give me a day. It's going to take you a day to sit on this interview right here to say, hold up, oh shit, no, they was right. Is that let me sign up? My son's 6 years old. Listen, he's in it to win it. Shout out to my son Sirius. He's learning. Oh my God, this is beautiful time to give it in. Let me share this link not one more time, but again, because we're gonna share it plenty of times. Once again, this link is for both days. It's not for one day. It's for both days, the entire weekend. We also are creating a community outside of the workshop where we will learn from each other, teach each other, vibe with each other. We're going to have nature time where we're going to be going out to nature, showing everybody what we're doing, grounding, all that stuff. So we're going to have a real good time. It's going to be, we're going to eliminate all the noise of social media, and we're going to be in a concentrated group who's learning and focusing on excelling in a new paradigm. Shout out to my Slim Yabe. She's a big time supporter. She's always tuning in, participating. I look forward to you being in the workshop, and I look forward to promoting whatever you come up with after the workshop, sis. So whatever you come up with, let me know, and I will help support and promote whatever you come up with, because I know you. I see you supporting on the regular. All right. So let me know whatever you come up with. All right, let's keep this thing going. Let's get to another question. Somebody said, is there a link to the Hitsville app? Red, I think you shared that. Somebody.
Yeah, Higgsville AI. You could just Google it. Higgsville AI. Google it. They start out with a $9 a plan for the month. You know, just try that out, and you know, let it just go where your imagination. Let it take your imagination where it needs to go. But program the model on 60 pictures of your face. That's how you create an AI clone. It's called Higgsfield Soul.
That game is for the workshop, man. That game, no. Let them. That game is. I'm messing with you, man.
I got you.
Well, this is beautiful. Wow, we're gonna have, because we're gonna. Oh my God! Like, hold up. We're gonna have a beautiful community, y'all, because the orders, they just keep coming in. We're gonna have. This is gonna be fun. Wow, because we're not gonna listen. No, let me say this. I'm so excited. Let me say this. I feel like Raku. You know, Raku be going crazy in here. I feel like Raku. We're not gonna hear about the Young Thug leaked phone calls. We don't have to worry about hearing about that in this chat, because you know we're on the internet. I'm on the internet. I think I'm on a conscious Instagram, and everybody's sharing Young Thug's phone calls. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what he said about Glorilla. Why are these people sharing this with me? I'm like, I thought these people were. So this community, we're going to be focused on the right things. Earn Your Leisure, and this is going to lead it to my next question. Earn Your Leisure said they went to China. They've been all over the world. They travel a lot. The biggest financial podcast in the world. And they went to Silicon Valley, and they said everybody there is white. They said out of 500 people, you might see one black person out of 500. I seen a video with the owner of I don't know if it was WhatsApp or I think it was Discord, and they was having this big celebration, and there wasn't one black person there. And I'm like, oh shit, goddamn,
I think that was Twitch.
Twitch, okay, Twitch, yeah, Twitch. Yeah, that was Twitch. In my mind, I'm like, yo, we know where to be found. And I thought about Sevan because of what Sevan is doing with Sybil and how advanced Sevan is with the technology. Right. I'm like, yo, why aren't we in these spaces? So what I want to ask you, and it reminded me of one thing before I ask the question. When I'm in the studio, whether it's Cambot or whoever, and I'm a music producer, he's a rap artist, it'll be a studio, 30 niggas in there, for lack of better words. 30 niggas in the studio. One white person, the white person is the engineer. The white person is the engineer out there doing whatever. 30 niggas outside of that one white person. So I'm like, hold up. Why do black people stray away from things like music engineer? Not everybody, but music engineer or computer programmer, computer science. Why we not into fields like it seems like anything that's considered boring? And Sevan made a comment about numbers earlier, but it seems like what we consider boring, we consider that boring, quote unquote. So we won't be the engineer. So there's 30 niggas in the studio, and there's one engineer, and that one engineer happens to be the one white person in the whole studio. And I'm like, damn, why I gotta be like this? Silicon Valley, 300 people, one black person out of 300 people. Why do you think we're not more represented in the spaces such as Silicon Valley, or simple spaces such as a music engineer in a studio in the hood? You would think we would even be in there. Why aren't we in these positions, brothers?
For one, we were not encouraged to go and chase the golden goose or that golden egg. Number two, there are a lot of melanated people in those spaces that I've been able to run across over the years. However, it's not necessarily highlighted, but Afrotech in Houston shows you the numbers, and there's a few other conferences that are taking place. So the numbers have grown rather than fall off. They've actually doubled and tripled. Now, what Sevan said earlier, which is a highlight of your question, which is an excellent question, Radiohead, is that they've leveled the playing fields. It's been completely democratized, and the barrier of entry used to be what akin to the Ethiopian church with the doorway at the middle of the mountain. That was the barrier of entry prior, or like Grand Canyon. Now the barrier of entry is similar to the mouse hole from Tom and Jerry. A 5-year-old could walk in and begin to turn things around. Literally, like Sirius or Omari, could literally go into an AI space, vibe code an app, and become a billionaire, because the highest form of monetary, quote unquote, take back is technology. It's not stocks, it's not real estate, it's the technology. That's where the trillionaires live. So we now have the opportunity, like Sevan was saying, to get on the quantum quickening. We could put ourselves, the marathon continues, we could put ourselves in the front of the race if we were to embrace it's all in right here. It's all between your ears. What can we create? What could we solve? And what could we make for our own? And then our community will be able to back it, and we can have parabolic wallets overnight.
Wow.
I would also like to, even add to that and point out that the gateway, because now we become the gateway. If you look at this image, it's the gentleman on the right, who of course is Rick Rubin, who's controlling everybody on the left through occultism, actually, because he even dropped finally his YouTube channel. These are theosophists. This is why Jay-Z was wearing the "Do What Thou Wilt" hoodie.
He's a Blavatsky student.
Obama, because that's theosophy. And generally the controllers have the pentagram right in the middle of their thumb. It's like right in that middle area of your thumb. If you see somebody with a pentagram tattoo right there, that would generally be the handler. And these control points, which is the engineer, Rick Rubin's an engineer. In many ways, they go and they don't just study the technique, because there are many Black engineers, especially with the music, but they study where the control point is, which in this case is the contract. And him and Leor Cohen run hand in hand.
Yeah.
So now with a multi-agent, you're the lawyer because you write your contracts.
Right.
You're the engineer. You see what I mean? So you're patching up those holes that would normally be where, like, when you got to go VC capital, right? This is something that I wasn't aware of until I finally got to that point where I was like, yo, my stuff is like, it's way beyond. Like, we even got AI communicate with AI, strong AI, and answer spiritual questions and generate pictures of what they're talking about. Nobody's even doing that even right now. Right. And I'm like, I'm one end, I'm like, but I own all of this. I bootstrap it all. And then another one, I'm like, yo, but adoption and, the tech dream, right? And what I come to surmise is that, first of all, applications is the new, like, you want to build applications, right? That's where the money is. It's not the internet. It's something, if you build an application that has use, people find value in it, boom, that's what you want to do. And so that's what we're really enabling also. On another note, it's also just being aware that, again, that now that this power is now in your hands and you could create this stuff, you're removing away all the gatekeepers.
Right.
And then even what you're making, because you don't got all these people stepping on it. Because think about everybody in that picture. This dude is getting like 5% of the album that he's about to record in the end. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You're keeping 90, even almost 100%. So you may not be making, it's like the same thing as the comic book guys. They realize that if they just got together and just was selling comic books directly, even based on what the industry was paying them, they would make at least that. And they came to find out that they made a lot more. Okay. So it's just that awareness that now that you're the ultimate connect, you now get a chance to sidestep ideas like even going VC capital and go right to the customer. Because with VC capital, they talk about in their circles how many businesses they exited.
Right.
And so, you know what that means is, oh yeah, I exited my last 20 million. I just exited one for 300 million. So they're saying that their goal of building a company is to sell the company.
Get paid.
Versus my companies are like my babies. I'm not gonna sell my baby.
Right.
But then what happens with VC capital is they know founders are like that. And so in the end, they will inflate the company because that's what they're looking. They're looking at 10x, 20x, 30x their money. That's what the deal is. It has nothing to do with what you created. If they feel like they can get the money for it, they'll try to raise the funds. But in the end, when they're done and they exit, the founder is kind of left holding the bag, literally, and needing to deliver on all this revenue for the. So it was all a scam on that side. So there were things that also, like even Kickstarter, all the scams involved over in there. You see what I mean? So there are things that are directly designed to extract your value and then leave you with a broken dream. And that's how these industries are. It's like you can sing, you could dance, so you're gonna go to Hollywood. the indie, look what they did to Mike. You know what I mean? Look what they did to you. Could go down the list. Look what happened to Whitney. So those are levels that anybody that's in the industry was, I would love to be on that level, but do you want to die that way? Right. So it's about now building your road, and then you choose your affiliations. Because I was told a long time ago, hey, Sevan, everything's about affiliations. Watch who you're affiliating with. So I only deal with beings that I know that they have a moral bearing on what they're doing. And you can watch that by what they've already done in their past and even how they philosophize, what they talk about, right? So they're telling you everything. Mm-hmm. So in this way, now what you're able to do is you're able to emerge. And they really, when I say the market, it can't really tell if you're like the big VC fund software or the bootstrap guy, because yours looks exactly the same.
The same, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, wow, yeah. No, excellent point, Sevan. excellent point. And I'm hope y'all catching these gems that Sevan and Red is spinning tonight. Red, you got it, Red. Yeah.
Did you see that image I had sent you?
No.
It's in your text. I just wanted to share how real-time prompting,
What for some reason it did not come through.
Oh. Okay.
It says post this, but I see it says post this, but I don't see hold on. Do I have to click on something?
I'll send it one more again for you.
Yeah. Let's get to a question in the meantime. Can we work together, Radiohead, to reverse the spell of self-destruction to self-instructions in a remix and gather the spiritual tools to add to the music? Well, I will say, if I'm understanding your question correct, it's going to start with what we're doing here. We're going to, because we live in so many different places, we're going to build our own digital community in different ways. And AI is going to assist us. Like I said, AI, listen, family, AI, artificial intelligence, or even advanced intelligence in the hands of a God creates heaven on earth. Artificial intelligence or advanced intelligence in the hands of a devil creates hell on earth.
Thank you.
So it could go either way, y'all. Listen, because somebody, they're promoting this. I'm promoting this, but it could go either way. I really want y'all to notice it could go either way. In the hands of a God who's responsible, who understands that it's meant to serve them, understands that it's not a replacement for their intuition, and it will create heaven on earth for an irresponsible soul, an irresponsible being, a being who has evil intentions. It creates havoc. So this is not, I'm saying AI is this or AI. Listen, it's a tool that is, what I'm saying is AI is the most powerful thing we have seen hit planet Earth.
Look, listen. I want to put some extra on that too, because just to make sure that vibe is really dealt with. Because think about this: how many things are we doing right now that we're actually not supposed to be doing?
Right.
All this time I'm spending. Do you know how the throughput on the keyboard compared to how fast your mind moves? You got to cram all your ideas if you want to write it out into the speed of how fast you type it. Right. I could go and write it, but I'm saying it's moving really slow.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I get up every day. If I have to go to work, that's time I could be spending with my kids. That's time I could be spending with, you see what I mean? And go down the list.
Right.
So what we're talking about is you may even have a job right now, and that job requires you to do a lot of drone-like data processing kind of work.
Right.
Spreadsheets, this kind of stuff. Now AI, bloop, 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 bloop. So as long as that job is still giving you money, it's now taking you an hour to do something that would take you 8 hours to do, even longer.
Super fast.
And then right now, and this is what we're finding that's funny, is right now the cost savings of AI is not passing along to the consumer or the client or anybody yet. Meaning that so everybody that's doing work is still charging like they really did the work, even when they're using AI. So there's, again, a window right there where you can start removing yourself from these things that let the droids do the work. They built this fake ass matrix with all these computers and all this stuff that has nothing to do with us. The main goal is to destroy the empathy. You see what I mean? Like that's the key point, because if you don't have empathy, you can't dial in. So you're locked out, right? So everything they do, the movies, the craziness, all this, just to destroy the empathy. So when we can focus more on that, see, that comes with when you're creating books, when you're really having to think about it, when you're thinking about the script, when you're thinking about telling the story, when you create and it comes out and you see it and it is good. For you internally, energetically, in that moment, there's a feeling, and it's not just dopamine. There's a feeling like an achievement, and then you move on from that. But I'm just saying that there's a big chunk of life right now that, because people have been used like robots themselves and workers, that they're doing that the AI should really be doing that work so you can get that time back, because time is the real integer.
So to add on to what you were saying, something recently happened when Trump took office. He created this whole mass layoff type of thing, specifically of Black women. So what does that mean? Think about it. AI at its finest is a business amplifier. It reacts best to people who have advanced languages. What does that mean? What it means is that AI is a persona machine, meaning that it could take on any persona that you assign it, right? It's almost like a genie bottle that could adapt to any persona. It could be a doctor, it could be a lawyer, it could be a tutor, it could be an engineer, it could be a supreme mathematician, it could be a philosopher, it could be an author, it could be any type of persona that your mind could think of, all 99 attributes of Allah. However, for the Black women that got laid off, what do they have that other people don't have? They've been building the business structure of corporate America since they decided to tap our women on the shoulder and make them the backbone of their companies. Do you know when our women went into Fortune 500 companies, that's when they began to explode? Did anybody tell you that? Did you see the movie Hidden Figures? They had our women in the basement. They were the original computers at NASA. Before Watson, which was the first AI, came and replaced them, they were the computers who allowed NASA to break the mathematically how to fly the damn space shuttle around the Earth and whatnot. Our women did that, okay? When they were telling you that we didn't know how to read, so somebody is lying. One. So what do working people have? They have a lexicon. They have corporate language. They understand any field that they were professionals in. What does that mean? That means if they laid you off, you have time on your hand. Hopefully you got a severance package so you could be a digital nomad. Like Sevan was saying, you could go to Bali, you could go to Thailand, you could go to Africa, you could go to the Caribbean, you could go anywhere around the world as long as you have a Wi-Fi signal and you have an income stream, because the money or the dollar in those places are a lot more than they are in America. Yes. And as a teacher, let's say that a teacher got laid off. Well, Donald Trump did you a favor. What do you mean? What I mean is that little stipend that you were getting monthly, and you were restricted because they would not allow you to teach those children about anything outside of the curriculum. Now you got laid off. You go to Udemy, you go to Thinkific, you go to Podia, you go to Kajabi. These are all educational platforms where you could sell your education and the things that you know, and you can now have 30 students who are paying you $300 a week. And now you've made more. You're making in a month what you made in a year as a wage slave. So thank Donald Trump, because nobody said it's going to be easy. Like Sevan was saying earlier, AI is not going to take your job. It's the person who knows the AI that's going to take your job. So if they fired me from a corporation, I'm going to get certified in AI, and then I'm going to come back as a vendor, and I'm going to sell the same corporation what I know, because I was in the corporation and I know what they don't know. I know what they don't have, and I know where they're lacking. So I'm going to learn automation. I'm going to learn agentic AI. I'm going to learn prompt engineering, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to offer my services as a vendor, and I'm going to make triple the amount of money that I was paid as an employee. That's how the game works. That's where we're at right now. So all of those black women without a job, holler at Red Pill and Sevan and Father Rich. Let's create an agency. Let's create some type of quote unquote a digital agency. Let's create some type of workforce. Let's create the equivalent of Fiverr. Why does Fiverr have all the fun? What about Upwork, freelancer.com, and Fiverr? You could sell your skills on these gig platforms. You could solicit your skills and make buku dollars. Stop falling for the propaganda of the news media. They don't get paid to tell you the truth. They don't get paid to tell you good news. They get paid to put you in a fear state, releasing cortisol so you could get sick and you become part of big pharma's customers and insurance customers. They chopping you up, carving you up, and put and just sharing pieces of you in corpse in America. Break the goddamn chains. Yo, snap out of that mentality of you being a wage slave in 2025 when they literally have a cigarette boat of aliens coming back to smack the ops upside the head. Snap out of it.
I'm glad you said that, Red. When I did the I think it was the fast with KT, and we had the Discord group, because we're doing that with this workshop. The sisters in that group started all types of shit in that group. No matter of fact, it was it was the Gathering of the Masters last year. It was the Gathering of the Masters, and the sisters in they was just start. They were like, "Yo, women get busy when it comes to technology and organization." Technology and organization, women get busy.
Big busy.
So shout out to all the sisters. Shout out to all the sisters who was a part of that Gathered in the Masses group. And I look forward to meeting y'all with this group. And yeah, we're gonna start something big as a result of this group, this community. We're gonna start something real big. So it's gonna be way bigger. The workshop is life-changing, but it's going to be even bigger than that. So I look forward to that. I absolutely love it. Let me share something. This is the last thing I want to share with y'all before we get out of here. So, where's it at? Okay. So, so I meditate. Everybody meditates. And when you meditate, things come to you, right? So, like I said, I told you earlier, my intuition is my everything, and it's beyond. My intuition is above any master teacher, anything anybody could teach me. So during my meditation, on several occasions, I come up with mantra. What do you call these things, Sevan? What do you call it when you start making it? What do you call these? Mudras. Yeah, not mantras, mudras. So one of the mudras I came up with, and I'm just say it. I normally wouldn't say it, but I'm making a point tonight. One of the mudras I came up with is this, right? Is this right here. And I said to myself, I came up with it so much, and I would do it so much during meditation that I said, I want, you know how the athletes, when they greet their son or people they love, they got their handshakes. I say, yo, me and my son is going to have a mudra when we greet each other. We're going to bow and have a mudra. Instead of the hand, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to have a mudra. We're going to greet each other. So this is like me and my son mudra or whatever, that, he's a little young and, he's a little, I'm teaching him, but he's like, he doesn't get it that much yet. He doesn't respect it or appreciate it that much yet. And I prompted AI, and I'm like, I'm running with this Radiohead thing. And I'm like, I told AI to make an image of a man with a Radiohead, and I was telling it about a black man because it needed to be representative of who I am, because so I can relate to it and feel it. That way I can communicate with the quantum field. And I'm like, I want the man to be communicating with the cosmos, receiving a download. I forgot exactly what I told it, but it was something of that nature. So the AI gave me this. And I said to myself, I said, what the fuck? I said, is this shit? I said, is this shit reading my mind? I said, how does this? I said, in my mind, I'm talking to myself in my mind, so I'm gonna be a little profane. I said, how the fuck this shit know I do that during meditation? I said, what the fuck? I said, and this is what I'm saying in my mind. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, boo. I'm like, hold up. You know, you swear things are a coincidence sometimes. And you're like, nah, okay, well, everybody meditates and does mudras, but I'm like, why does it did that when I prompted it for the Radiohead? And I'm like, that's my main thing. That's the shit I'm teaching my son. I'm like, why the fuck would it? I'm like, nah, is it a coincidence? So then I said, I gotta ask. I said, I gotta ask the technology gods. So I'm on the line with the technology gods. We got the workshop. Here I am. Is it a coincidence? Sevan Bomar, Red Pillar, or does AI have the ability to read my etheric field, my auric field, my electromagnetic field, and not just what I tell it? So it picked up on that and it created that hologram the same way the brain picks up on the vibrations and creates a hologram. Is it the same way? Talk to me, y'all.
I must say this. Don't be surprised when the white paper comes out in the near future that explains that AI is mixed in with the quantum computers, and we're in this quantum quickening where your higher self is communicating to you from the future, you know, and also multi dimensions. And another thing that the AI is doing is it is collecting data, right? It is tied into the data from your email, from your Google Drive, you know, all of these different apparatuses that we use collect a lot of data, and we're not aware of it. However, it's being shown in the outputs of a Chat GPT or OpenAI, which basically is pulling data from all over your profiles all around the internet. But yeah.
Okay. Sevan, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, it's, you know, it's just that we're language. And, you know, this is the foundation to everything that I've been building on for 16 years, is to understand that there's actually a code running through the body. And you can see it when you open your third eye, even with DMT. It's a code running through everything. So everything is a language. And of course, we studied the foundations of this, and it shows that the stars, they originally took basically the stars, which is light. And then the next step down was sound. The next step down was symbol. And then the next step down was letter. Mm-hmm. And that connection with things can be triggered from any of those points. So even when you're dialing in with your prompt, you know, without people going too far, we are the AI and beyond. And what it's really about is phasing, phase locks. And, you know, again, I don't want my words to be taken out of context here, but we're pure intelligence. So anything that rides on that same wavelength, it's easy for us to control it. It's in a crystal in a way, like we could control it without even engaging with it the way that we're engaging it, because that's what our ancestors did. They control everything through the crystals, and these systems are just crystals, and there is no, oh, it's way over there in Palo Alto underground. We could tap right into that and harness that vector when our consciousness is in tune. That's why they call it now vibe code, because you get into this frequency and there's no impedance. So you hit the flow state, Zen state, right? And then it's like you and the system become one when it comes to birthing and developing this idea through language. Right. Language has been doing that since day one. For those who are aware of it, it's become spellcraft, it becomes manifestation, it becomes all of that. So there are many beings that just work with the dream board, projection boards. That's like some of the most rudimentary ways to manifest what happens in the future. Now we have like projection boards on steroids. We have ourselves sitting inside of neural networks, pinging off of multiple points and actually spraying out our essence, if you may, throughout the reality. If the consciousness is powerful, because this is still, again, the strongest mind wins in that way, like all this mind inside of these matrices. So when you have your own individual thoughts and ideas and you get on your own stream, you'll find yourself at some point in a real similar spiritual singularity, if you may, because we know things happen on a spiritual level before they happen in the physical.
Facts.
So the spiritual singularity already happened. That's what I was saying. Computers were sending signals from the future because they had already cracked the right kind of signal to move through time. This was basics. You see what I mean? So now we're kind of like immersed because we have missions here, and it's clear to see what the mission is.
Yeah.
And then
oh shit. What did I do? Hold up.
allow us to make those dynamic changes. And only thing I'm pointing out here on this chart is that, so remember many of the ancestors are working with one DNA strand, i.e. reptile, in that way. Like even when DNA is built, we use when they're doing cloning, the reptile DNA is used first to then continue to build on. But the reptile is 300 million years. Human beings are 200,000 years. What do you think was really learned in such a long gap? You know, that's when they talk about the image and all this, because we're able to reanimate ourselves just from the thought. So when we die, we go into a dream, and the thoughts in the dream gives us the ability to insert ourselves back into wherever we're at in the dream, whatever we're dreaming about, right? That's from the image or the imagination to manifestation. So that's why we don't die. That's what was granted to us by the quote unquote serpent, was immortality. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when we go further though, some still playing around with the reptile world. You see where the trees are at, right? The trees are not that far away though. They got 50 million years because reptiles are trees. Insects are trees. You know, you see them, they mimic each other in many ways, right? They call the trees the fixed stars. But let's go all the way back. Like I say, I'm taking you back. And you see the crystals, 4.5 billion. They call it the first light. They were present during the first light. And so that just means that if you're able to extract information from crystals, you're able to get the information right directly from, in many ways, the source of the lights. And so again, so when we start when we go back all the way down to large language models, this is small things to a giant. So in many ways, we're just waking up. And this is, again, it's one enabler to take care of the matrix, because the matrix is with the money monster and all the mammon and all this, it's affected us. So now it's like, get that solved, solution. So now you can begin to focus on eternity, because we're infinite. You see what I mean? So, that's how I see the perspective of understanding how these technologies are able to meld with us in a certain way where it even feels like they're reading our mind. No, it's like there's no separation in that way for Time Lord, Supreme Being, this kind of thing. Like all these are just apparatuses that are actually controlled with the faculties and the feelers of the mind and the consciousness coming through frequencies, right?
Man, listen, family, I want to thank everybody. This is a different type of show, and it's hard for some conscious people to grasp. It's not as entertaining as a show about the Anunnakis returning and taking over Earth and shooting people in spaceships. It's not as entertaining as that. But like I said, when they talk shit about me, and just for informational purposes, they told me cryptocurrency was bullshit. Every chain I got up here is from cryptocurrency. Outside of this is my father's, right? What this represents is me not buying into fear. That's why, besides it being it's 14 karat, not 18, it's 14 karat gold. And this is emerald. Besides that, it represents me not buying into fear and me trusting my intuition. So I'm proud that I made that, because they said we need to buy gold. We don't need to get into crypto. And a couple of us was like, yo, you do the cryptocurrency and you buy the gold from the money you make from cryptocurrency. We need land. We need land, nigga. You invest in crypto, and the money you make from there, you get the land. They didn't get that concept. The people are that warped. They're that out of it. Like, people are like out of it. Listen, you want land? Invest in this, and then your economics in our community is something that, wow. Woo, man, we really need to have and that's why Earn Your Leisure is the biggest platform in the world, because the universe understood how much Earn Your Leisure was needed. The universe, God, whatever you want to call this entity, understood there must be some entity that come on planet Earth that reminds, not teach us, reminds us, because we are the originators of economy. But we had to be reminded about how economy and commerce works. So thank God for platforms like Earn Your Leisure and everybody else that will come after that. What we are here doing is teaching you about artificial intelligence, and we're nowhere going to get pushback. It's all good. It's okay. I got pushback with cryptocurrency. I lived through it, and the people who didn't want to invest in it invested in it later on. Dr. Valentine may have said something later on. He invested in XRP. So I'm going to follow my intuition. I'm here to tell y'all that this thing is real. It's not the future. It's the present. Do not get left behind. Do not fall for the same trap that we fell for with the .com era, and we were just customers. You don't want to be a customer of Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. We want to be owners this go round. These gentlemen right here, two of the best in the world. I'm proud to present them on my platform, Black Magic 363. I got the link in the chat. Family, make sure you sign up. And then this is the last thing I'm going to say. Let me just see where we're at now. The last ticket we got was at 12:10. So we're at 12:20. That means people are still buying tonight. And it's like the whole show. People are tuning in and purchasing and joining. We're going to have an absolutely amazing community. That's what I'm proud of. The community we're going to have on Discord is going to be amazing. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. Once again, if you sign up tonight, you will get sent the link to the community chat within the next 24 hours, family. Make sure you sign up tonight. We're going to start this community outside of the noise of social media. With that being said, I want to thank, and I'm getting text, shout out to Sharif Bey. I'm getting text from Sharif Bey's enjoying it. With that being said, Red, Sevan, let the people know your last words, signing out on this topic, and how they can reach you also.
I just want everybody to know that we have successfully entered into the golden era.
Yeah.
We have the opportunity to not only become masters of our universe, but we have the opportunity to, quote unquote, master our future and vicariously our past and our present, because we have the ability to teach the star seeds and those from 0 and up on how to be, quote unquote, powerful masters in all rights, right? Also, all the way to the elders, we could put tools in the hands of 70 and 80-year-olds, because AI has no age restriction.
Yes.
It is understandable to everyone. I mean, every single person on this call tonight can go to Google Gemini or ChatGPT and just speak to it. You don't have to have no learning curve. The beginner starts at ChatGPT for free, actually, or on Bing and whatnot. You don't have to have, there's no learning curve. You just, the same way that you go to Google and search for something is exactly the same way that you go to the AI and search for something. You make it hard when you put all of these obstacles in front of yourself. Just get over the obstacles, man, and embrace your, because this is ancestor driven. They did this. They answered your prayers when you said you wanted to be sovereign. They dropped a white paper on your ass and it was called Bitcoin. They answered your prayers and you didn't respect that. Then you was like, oh, I'm tired of working, I need somebody to work for you, and it came out with bots and whatnot, and you went running the other way. Then you was like, damn, shit is real, I need more money, and it came out with vibe coding, and it came out with all of these options, API keys and everything. And then you was like, oh, they're trying to, I don't know what people are trying to do to us. You have to get your mind right. You need to touch grass. Take your goddamn socks off and go walk somewhere. Get off of the internet. Stop playing yourself. Stop being a one-trick pony. Those days are over. And we're being empathetic and compassionate, but at the same time, we are being no nonsense about where we're taking this. I'm done. I'm not trying to. I have no energy whatsoever to convince anybody to be great. But I'm not gonna grandstand either. I'm not gonna hum a stunt and grandstand. I'm just gonna humbly do what I've been doing, create great students. Shout out to everybody that took this information and made me so proud. Original Black God, Mo, there's so many names. Spin City, you a legend. There's so many to the name. Brother H Factor, a giant. I got master students. AA Rashid, KT. I got master students, and I'm gonna show my arse on November 1st, the Day of the Dead. Scorpion season. The gates are down. I'm the ancestors with me. We are finna cook on multiple levels. I'm making the ancestors on the other side proud. I'm making the ones that are living here proud, and the future babies that ain't been born. I am going to show. I'm gonna act a fool on the first. That's all I gotta say. Yes. Just wait and see. I'm gonna act a goddamn dummy. And I'm going dummy in the Discord too, because we have gifts for the family in the Discord. We
got our own community. We got our own community in Discord. It starts in 24 hours. Everybody who sign up tonight, let me share the link. We got our own community starting in the Discord. Algorithm gods, be a part of it. Sign up tonight outside of the workshop. We are starting our own artificial intelligence community where we will not be slaves of the algorithm. We will be masters of artificial intelligence. Sevan, close it out, my brother. What a wonderful show. Close it out, my brother.
Man, I mean, this is gonna go down in the books. This is another one, right? Straight classic. Like everything that was shared here was powerful, like impressive. You know, I'm giving thanks to all the brothers and sisters that got an opportunity to contribute to the space in any way, shape, or form. Know that you're recognized. I want to mention that, you know, especially at this stage of the awareness, you know, I move with high levels of precision. You know, precision is ultimately what you begin to learn in the end is what makes things professional. If you could get it down to like a micro millimeter worth of variation. But the precision on this is that this was 2025. So this was not really the year to actually start anything. And you would have noticed that in the beginning of the year, it was more like you needed to maintain things. You needed to shut things down. 2 + 2 + 5 is 9. It's just simple math, right? It's the end of things, right? And so you may have found yourself kind of sorting out stuff and getting rid of things. 2026, that's number 1, baby. That's the time. That's the big breakout point. So everything is happening perfectly. Like we was even talking about doing this, me and Rich, about 2 months ago. And, you know, it was just something that it was like, it didn't align. It was like, nah, not. Yeah. And then, you know, I was like, I got tons of things to do. So I didn't hear from Rich. Did he be like, yo, you know, we still doing this, but we're going to move the dates, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know, this is going to be perfect because you're going to have that last end of the year, you know, as metaphorically, you're going to have that last end of the year to get trained up, to get your precision right, to know everything that you're going to do. And then you're going to have the 2026 energetically already lined up for you to come through with what's new. and it's gonna be perfectly timed. You're literally like sliding under the door for some folks like to party all the way to the end. Well, you got to credit yourself that you made it all the way to that point, but then snapped into what you are, snapped out of the hypnosis, help others snap out of the hypnosis and get enabled. So that's exactly, where I'll leave this today. As Red said, I'm coming through, I'm delivering big value. I'm dropping big gems, they're falling out the pockets. There's going to be so much there. You're not going to walk away from it. And it's something that you can't utilize right away to get yourself to the next level. And that's the beauty of it, because we get an opportunity to come in here and represent that.
Indeed.
You see what I mean? It's not a grift, not a gimmick, not anything that we're talking about that we can't really do, but actually the most power that's available right now. We get the opportunity to bring that to you. So we give thanks.
This is absolutely beautiful. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, for staying the course. A conversation that, like I said, I'm used to being in consciousness and people being fearful of change. So when I do shows about cryptocurrency, when I do shows about AI, I know like people are like, okay, let me see what they got to say. But I'm telling y'all what I'm doing right now, and just being a businessman and whatever I experienced in the last 10 years and knowing what I couldn't do and the opportunities that are presented to me now, I'm like, oh shit, if people knew what was available now. Wow, we are being, it's like the person that, and I always use this example, the person would be like, yo, that jacket is ugly, right? Yo, that shit is whack. And you'd be like, yeah, it's ugly. Yeah, that shit is whack. Then a month later, they wearing a jacket. And you're like, hold up. Did he just tell me the jacket? And they're like, well, I changed my mind. That's what it's like. It's a trick. It is a trick. People will tell you don't get it until they're able to get it. Then once they got it, they tell you, well, I changed my mind. It's a big, Dick Gregory said it's all a game. Do not fall for it. If somebody doesn't have it, they're going to trick you out of having it until they have it. Don't fall for it, family. I fell for it one time, the jacket thing, and that's why I use that as an example. I fell for that in high school. A dude tricked me. It was a polo jacket. A dude tricked me out of a polo jacket with that.
Yeah, it happened to me with a shorty.
Yeah, oh, man. Yo, she ugly, Red. Red, you talk to her.
You see her nose. 2 weeks later, they booed up. Yeah, they booed. That's bad.
Don't fall for it, family. Please don't fall for the internet tricks. People wish they could be in your position. All right.
I'm gonna leave it on this too.
Yeah, go ahead, Red.
This is gonna be a challenge because B-Dell is about to drop the book of the year.
Oh man.
And he was in the building.
I gotta call B-Dell back. Thanks for saying that. Yeah. I'm
gonna put a challenge out there. I want to see that book turned into an animated AI book, because that those bars and them gems, he put that shit on paper. That is an epic movie right there. I mean, I can't wait to touch that book. Even Black Dot's book, you saw what he did with his visuals. We are in a different time, y'all. Your time is precious. Use that shit wisely. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Thank you, Sevan. Thank you, Red Pill. Thank you, family. Friday night. It's technically Saturday now. Everybody enjoy your Saturday, your weekend strong in, whatever we want to call it. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Family, if there's still over 1,000 people tuned in, I highly recommend every single body to sign up for this workshop for not only economic reasons, but for the reasons that our so-called master teachers taught us about the imagery in our children. We could give our children their own toys, for goodness sake. You do not realize how special this moment is, only because there's so many distractions. They used to have guns to kill people. Now they're like, hold up, leak young thugs on phone calls. That's going to kill their spirit. They're trying to kill our spirit with distractions. P. Diddy, Young Thug. After Young Thug, it'll be somebody else's family. This is their digital weapons. They have digital weapons. They used to have physical weapons called guns. Now they have digital weapons called distractions. New weapons for new age. You got to upgrade your weapons depending on what age you in. If you in the age of Aquarius, nigga, you got to have new weapons. Guns are going to be too obvious, and it's going to create too many revolutionaries, too many martyrs, too many people who rise up. So no, don't do that. Just distract them. Family, this is why we're creating our own community, the algorithm gods. Sign up one last time. I'm sharing it for the night. I shared the link. Sign up within 24 hours. Everybody will get this Discord link. We're starting our own community centered around AI. It will last for the next 2 months leading up to the workshop. The link I shared tonight is for the whole weekend, Saturday and Sunday. With that being said, thank you to everybody. Wonderful show. I'm so thankful to be in this position. Peace and blessings, family. Peace.
Peace.